That's right, everybody. It's time for Limbus again. Hello, lazy. Hello, chat. Hope we all having a good night. Hope you had your pizza. If you are partaking in the traditional Pizza Friday time. Hi, Maria. God damn, 39 months, huh? Thank you. Hope you're having a good day. Glad you could be here, because it's your day off, right? You're gonna actually, like, be here for the story. I've, still got my first weekly, what do you call it? Mirror dungeon run that I try to go as far as I can before I quit, and then I just spam it. I'm only up to floor 7 because I've been trying to finish up the current GFL 2 event story, which was very good because I did finish it today, by the way. For what's out, the second half is going to come out in a little bit. They really want the commander in GFL 2 to have sex with Helen / DP12. They're not subtle about it at all. It's kind of wild, honestly. I know gacha games aren't normally like super subtle with their whole gooner romantic tendency bait stuff, but like they're normally not, they don't normally commit to it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, chat? They do a whole like, well, you know, she likes you and she's attractive, so that's close enough for you, right? They don't ever like this whole event story has been a constant like there have been repeated affirmations and promises to the huge titty mommy shotgunner character, or by her to herself, that she will finally actually like be able to build a life and a home with the commander. They're not like, there's a lot of characters in Girls Frontline who are very clearly into the commander. There are some who are just kind of there and happy and like having friends and, you know, respect the commander. But there's at least 3 who are basically actually just the commander's wife in all but actual legal distinction. And it's kind of wild how they actually commit to it. But how's everybody else doing now that I've said that out of nowhere? Are y'all having a good day? You exist. Do not segs the gun. But what if the gun has big titties and like womanly hips and stuff and clearly loves me? Streaking from bed? Is it really streaking then? Isn't that just being naked in bed? Hi, Jadobi. I don't know if you've just heard my whole spiel that I did, and I'm not sure if I want you to. Hi, G-Force. You exist. Spine does not. Did you hurt yourself, or are you just having a bad day? That's just a submachine gun. They have some weird designs. You missed it? I was talking about a character in a gacha game and how the devs really seriously want you to, like, be into her. I got a feeling someone on the writer/development team really likes her. And you know what? I don't blame them. She's great. For reasons beyond the fact that she has giant homungalagungas. The rare big titty cow you're hearing about? I don't know about rare. There's a lot of characters in gacha games that have humongous honkers. But this one stands above the rest in regards to the size of them, outside of like Azure Lane, I guess, where they really, really do not want to stop making the characters' boobs bigger in Azure Lane for some reason. And I'm respect it because I have certain tastes. But I'm not going to play that game because it will be dangerous. Heard there was a rare pull rate. There is. Yep. That is definitely one of the gacha games that is not anywhere near as consumer friendly as Limbus. I did pay money for certain amounts of gambling for the character. I will not deny. Pretty sure it was during Senna's stream that I said I will pull for titties regardless of gameplay viability because I am a fool, mostly. But, you know, I like what I like. I'm not gonna hide from it. Not anymore, at least. Not here, I should say. I haven't really been hiding from it in other places. Do I need to level somebody up first? I need... He's at up tie 4. He's at up tie 4. I feel like I want to go get the character art, but I also feel like it would be dangerous. I should put this back up. Put these things back up. They're important to the experience of Limbus Company. You're not streaming today, are you, Jadobi? I keep wanting to raid you or Roto when y'all are streaming, but you feel like you end before I do. Just get the fan character art. Oh, believe me, I've got plenty of that, but I just wanted to show you the official thing that doesn't blow the proportions out of whack, which I'm also fine with. Could be bigger .png and all that kind of bullshit. Fuck it. We're going to tomorrow, but you sick now, so not sure. Oh, that sucks. Well, I hope you feel better soon. I will do my best to tune in if you are tomorrow. I won't be streaming, so I can't raid you, but I'll come hang out. Give me the fucking art, you piece of shit, Wiki. Let's see if this looks like trash like it did the last time I downloaded this. I don't know why it looked like ass, but it did. Bro won't be there, so no idea what you'll be streaming. What do you normally stream when you're not streaming with other people? I really need to clear out my fucking downloads folder. There's some dangerous shit in here. Why is it so fucking blurry? If I do this, it'll work better if I do it like this. Why do these look like such ass? Supposed to eventually finish Everspace 2, but you've kind of drifted. I've lost the Virgilius picture of the meme too. God damn it. I feel like you should just leave the Gotcha Junk channel. It's like talking to a bunch of brick walls who don't like you. I don't know about don't like you, but they certainly don't seem to agree with you generally. God damn it, why is it so hard to get this picture not look like a piece of shit? What if I just took image link and that? Would that work better? No, it still looks like shit. What the fuck? I don't understand why the images specifically from this website look like crap when I plug them into OBS, no matter what I seem to do. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this shit. Is there some secret to putting images in OBS? Make them not look like crap? Why is it only this website? Okay, that's not what How am I loading it? I have tried both downloading the file and inputting the URL for it, and both look weird and blurry. Can I pop a preview out for this one? I don't think I can. Yeah, that looks vaguely correct. All right, fuck it. I don't know what I did differently this time, but that seems to work better at least. I think I was getting the size wrong when I was loading it direct. I'll try that after I pop it up. Does that look like shit? Because my preview is very small, so it's hard to say. It looks kind of fuzzy on the actual stream page. It might just be having it being small, so the down resing or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Either way, I'm not joking when I said that they're fucking enormous. Why the hell did I just hear a roll 20 pick? What the fuck? What? Indeed. And I'm very fond of them. Picture. They look like there's perfect spheres under there. They are definitely quite full. Can't deny that. Turn. Where the hell is it? There it is. Virgilia staring at us disappointedly. Or Virgiliously, I guess. Alright. Good luck feeling better, Jadobi. Let's get to the story. No, not infernal sweep. Nocturnal sweeping, damn you. Alright, here we go. They really like that character on the old writing team. Also, hi Construct, how you doing? I don't know what else to tell you, Maria. If you don't like trying to talk to people in that location, just don't. You don't have a responsibility to go in there or anything. It does suck. But you know, they're also not obligated to agree with you. They're allowed to have differing opinions stuff. But I don't know. Talking to people is hard. Especially when they don't agree with you. Because, like, I agree with you on, not bothered about them not agreeing. Bothered that they talked down to me. Did they? I'm not. I don't know. I'm not sure I agree with that, but I'm not the one. Conversation. I don't know. Should probably just get to reading story. I understand how you feel, at least. Okay. All right. Changing modes. from one kind of sad to another. A funeral was held for Martin and the LCE researchers today. I thought I'd seen more than my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners. But never before had I witnessed this many people gather in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me feel a bit out of place. Am I doing this right? Most of the sinners seem to be feeling that similar sense of being out of their element as well. Some of them were asking Merceau, apparently the most knowledgeable of them all when it came to funeral process and etiquette, all manner of questions for pointers. Expressing respect is the primary purpose. Hand placement and gesture are unimportant if that objective can be accomplished. Hey, where do I put this? Beneath the third pillar to the right. Can't any of you quit chattering for 1 second? Have you all forgotten the instruction to carry yourselves with solemn propriety that befits the occasion? Cut me some slack. I haven't been to funerals all that much. I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. I even underlined all the important parts for you. Sorry, Ishi. The wall of text was just too much for me. My focus started fizzling out from page 30 onwards. Mood. 30 pages of instructional manual is ass. I probably would have crapped out way earlier than that. Hadn't every sinner attended a funeral before, back when we set foot in that grim manor in T-Corp? Ah, thou speakest of the funeral held in young Heathcliff's manor, dost thou not? The one bereft of the dead. Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to have died, because there wouldn't have been a property dispute big enough to involve the Ufi associations. Notarization otherwise. I've said this time and again, but it was just an intentional anonymity to prevent family strife. Intentional anonymity it is it? If the situation was indeed as thou sayest, then there was no helping it, forsooth. Yet 'tis a pity that the dead wasn't named at their own funeral. The name of the deceased was... It was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff. I have thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years' worth of local newspapers pertaining to the matter, yet no such name relevant to the case was identified, Manager. It's fine, Clockhead. At least you remember. That's good enough, innit? It had to be the Golden Bow's influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the event at Wuthering Heights had become warped. The sinners seemed to think that the Golden Bow had always been there in that manner, and that Nellie was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now a grieving brother who had been conducting research for his dead sister's sake. Nobody questioned it. Not Don Quixote, not Faust. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memory as if it was a proven fact. Heathcliff and I gave up trying to correct them. Instead, we'd just check in on each other's memories every now and then. Because if there's something that he and I realized, it was that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over. Every detail gilded and glossed over the window with the glow of the bow. The point is, how should I put this? The circumstances of that funeral didn't exactly leave us much room to properly express our condolences back then. Between Heathcliff running on a rampage and that Hindley guy bent on interfering with the execution of the will? I assumed that sort of impediment was pretty common stuff for funerals, but apparently not, huh? No, well, I think it's actually rare to see a place that follows proper funeral procedures. I've traveled around quite a bit myself, but I can't confidently say that I've ever been to a legitimate funeral. The one at Wuthering Heights was one of the more proper funerals, if only for pretending to have a process. They at least prepared a coffin, and even had a formal reading of the will. Seems the funerals are far from being an everyday custom in the city. Funerals are considered a rather extravagant practice here as well. Corporations are not eager to grant time offs just because an irrelevant someone has died. The piece of real estate seldom makes it viable to buy land and erect memorial houses on it. Then what other options do people usually have? We used to just leave them where they died, and after one night's sleep, the bodies were gone, just like that. Better than paying loads of money to bury them somewhere just to have that stir up a load of daft rumors, eh? Rumors? You know, rumors about there being valuables buried with the bodies, or an arm being some fancy prosthesis, all that kind of shit. Better to let the dead go in peace than bury them in a grave just for some sods to later desecrate it. Ah, yes, the Wuthering Heights and its extremely normal funeral. Right? It was very, very standard, the events that happened there. 100% everyday happenings. In Hongyan, people tend to set up graves if they have enough room to spare. Of course, there wasn't a guarantee they wouldn't lose the burial room by the next restructuring day. Hohenheim scoffed and hung his head. Otios foolishness, all of it. Comforting the soul of the departed, another mendacity. All those funds so carelessly squandered, all for the purpose of furnishing the living with a fragile excuse to cling on. Rip Sir Squirrel, it was a beautiful ceremony. Yeah, a valiant knight sent to the grave before his time. He had so much good left to do.
그럴 때마다 이 다람쥐군이 적잖은 친구가 되어주었겠어. 이 다람쥐군!
Are those words from his heart or something, or just something he said to convince himself? Whichever was the truth, I couldn't see the look on his face with his head tucked so low. Funeral didn't last long. It was just a brief moment of silence, followed by a few quick goodbyes that were shorter still. The ceremony came to a close once Alyssa, who was still in recovery, came to pay her final respects. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers, announcing the end of their existence with the crackle of firewood. So, I suppose you'll be leaving now? Oh. We're staying until Gregor's stable enough to travel. Dante says we'll remain here until Gregor's condition settles. Ah. Gregor came to his senses again a few days after his unforeseen metamorphosis in the battle against the Thumb nurse father. He was given a checkup, and Hohenheim said there is no cause for concern. Physically, that is. The psychological assessment turned up disastrous, to say the least. Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time being. Oh, you won't be leaving just yet. Good to know. Then I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while? Hmm? Me? Yes, you. YLC wants to look into the sign you manifested, Sinclair. The higher-ups didn't waste a second greenlighting the project, which means what I'm telling you is more a notice of investigation than a request for permission. Huh? What investigation? What do you... It's just a rather rudimentary instance of human experimentation. Calm yourself. Human experimentation? Did you really have to put it like that, boss? Not to worry, Sinclair. A swipe or two on your skin, and maybe some talk therapy. That's all there is to it. Of course, if we had your consent, the avenues of research could be vastly... No, I'm not giving you my consent. For your reference... For your reference, the other departments have also submitted some quite enthusiastic requests for research and observational purposes. Oh, you have no idea. We had to get Boss to fend off the LCA's Mirror World Observatorium department in their hissy fits. They wanted to be the first ones to get their hands on you and spearhead the research, you see. And, had we allowed them, they'd have kept you for a good few months before letting you go. So the least you could do to thank us is be a good boy and cooperate. Ah, just in time. Our researchers are here. Alyssa waved at the researchers who were filing out of the funeral hall after paying their respects. It wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides. Wait, I'm perfectly capable of walking there on my own, so just fuck? Don't run any painful tests on me, please. Of course, of course. Stay strong, Sinclair. All I could do was offer an unspoken encouragement to Sinclair, who sounded ready to collapse into a full-blown panic any minute. What about you? You not going with him? Oh, it's just back to the long-term recovery ward for me. I always thought scientific research was the one thing that flamed my passion, but with the recent events having introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realized that time off beats research projects in my book. Marginally. Enjoy it while it lasts. I highly suspect that every request for PTO submitted by our department will be rejected for the rest of the year. Well, it's true. Your average corporation doesn't get more than a week off a year. As soon as Alyssa trudged off with her dragging steps, the researchers seized Sinclair and carried him away, really. Alright, we should get going too. Oh, do you all have somewhere else to be? Well, I thought I'd go visit Gregor. I'm worried about him. Got something I said I'd help with. Gotta be there for it, you know? I'm going with Sinclair to get some rest. Also to keep an eye on the researchers and stop them if they try anything fucky with the experiments, you know? Let me know later if you need anything, Dante. The center's fanned out in different directions. They seem to have their own errands to run during our stay at the LCE. Everyone's busy with their own thing, huh? The only ones keeping me company now were Ryoshu, who'd been filling the air around thick with cigarette smoke, and Don Quixote, who was sniffing and asking around every corner for Vespa in a valiant quest for the new color fixer's whereabouts. Faust was still here, too, staring blankly into the air. You accessing the Gesellschaft? You seem to have some time to spare, manager. As I stood there, wondering what I should do next to pass the time, Hohenheim, who had apparently finished tackling and signing the stack of papers, walked over to me. This makes things rather convenient. There is something I had intended to discuss with you and Sinner Ryoshu, a matter that requires your assistance. Connecting to dial-up Faust. Indeed. What kind of assistance? WKOA says CH. Wait a minute, did Ryoshu just step in as my interpreter? It's not that I don't appreciate her gesture, especially since she'd usually snap at me and tell me to find someone else to interpret whenever the issue came up. But I can't help but doubt whether her choice method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything. There is, I must admit, certain novelty in witnessing the reconstitution of that which requires interpretation into yet another linguistic form equally demanding of it. It would seem we are in need of more manpower. Scratching his head, Hohenheim looked around for a moment before coming to a sudden pause as though an idea had crossed his mind. At the end of his gaze was a certain someone who was busy badgering LCCA employees with her relentless questioning. Sinclair, we need you to translate Ryoshu's translation. Why did that cable end in a metal egg? Don't worry about it. Who else, pray, might know where he is if thou knowest not? Now listen closely. The one I seek is a bearer of hair fashioned in the likeness of a bull. You there. Why don't you join us too? Dost thou speak of me? The LCCA personnel, who were cornered by Don Quixote in her rather forceful interrogation regarding Vespa's whereabouts, took the opportunity and fled the scene without so much as a backward glance at the moment their captor turned her head to answer. Hohenheim. Indeed, there is a task that requires your assistance. But I have yet more words to trade with the most noble Yellow Harpoon. You seek to emulate the virtue of chivalry. Does that entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need? For the sake of clarity and distinction, it would be prudent to assign you a different identifier from that of my assistant. You are to be number 2. That is, assistant number 2. I have not yet concluded mine exchange with the Yellow Harpoon, but no true knight would abandon those who call for aid. Pray, speak thy quest. How may I be of service to thee? Delegating the interpretation of the manager's speech to Sinner number 4 has proven to be counterproductive. As such, your task will be to report to me what the manager says. Oh, that is indeed a simple task. However, this WKOA eludeth mine understanding as well. Prithee, allow me but a little time to uncover its mystery. Relay the manager's words, not Cinerio shoes. They are asking you what kind of assistance you need. The request for interpretation was not directed to you, but I cannot deny that your meddling in the present circumstance is a welcome one. It wasn't simply that the irrationality and inefficiency of your suboptimal staffing choice and workflow have become sufficiently unbearable. Great, now he's going to need someone to translate Don's translation of Ryoshu's translation. You know, it goes in a circle. You pick the weirdest assholes to do the job because they're nearby, and it just makes the problem worse. Faust hopes this was not some guileful scheme to devise to elicit Faust's cooperation. In any case, Manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation into the back doors located in the House of Spiders. I deemed that the two of you should be the ones most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you were the one monitoring the entirety of the 5-pronged assault operation, and number 4's familiarity does not bear repeating. Do we go to the House of Spiders right away? Khosra? You have assisted enough. Perhaps you could help, Faust. Sure. Although not word for word, Faust relayed my intention to Hohenheim, who responded by shaking his head. Not immediately, no. There is one more member you should bring along. You found a silly Bargas drawing? Give it to me! Send me funny doggo. She's so wide. That's fucking great. I love that. Wide bar guest can't hurt you. She's not real. Wide bar guest. Oh, funny dog. One more member? Seeing me tilting my head, Hohenheim pushed up his glasses. The apprentice who was captured alive in the House of Spiders. Kira, she has regained consciousness. Wait, she got cut in half! How is she the one who survived? What the fuck do you mean? I guess you can recover from worse things if you're, as long as your head doesn't get broken. Kira's alive. That's honestly just flat out shocking. Simply don't die of being cut in half. Bisection can't kill you if you don't let it. I suppose that's true. Did Lucio come off Greg's right before Valencina tackled him? I don't know. I don't know if Lucio got detached. The place Hohenheim led us to looked less like a recovery ward and more like an interrogation chamber, which, considering, is not surprising. Though every single medical equipment installed around seemed to be state-of-the-art, the place looks well equipped. Probably a direct order from upper management. Although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of her lower body in the reconstruction process while keeping the cost reasonable. Reasonable, huh? Do I want to ask how expensive the other options are if this counts as reasonable? A windowless room, thick with the sharp scent of medicine and chemicals. There's a window right there. This is a window. Or I guess it's a one-way mirror, but still. It probably is a one-way mirror, because I can see it. Can I see the actual stuff that's here reflected in it? I don't think so. Hiro was sitting on the bed at the center of the room, kicking her feet as she regarded us. The lack of windows is metaphorical, I guess? For someone recovering from bisection, she didn't look much different from how she'd appeared when I'd seen her through the Sinner's shared vision. He was captured alive for the extraction of information, yes? How far along is the progress of the extraction? It hasn't yet begun, actually. We're waiting until the lines of information that warrant questioning can be isolated. So far, all available personnel have been fully engaged in analyzing the documents and items discovered in the House of Spiders. Quite literally bisected indeed, yes. She's got the stomach scars to prove it. Her jacket is attempting to eat her whole. That's a rad kind of jacket. The fact it cuts off at her elbows is a little weird, but you know, I've had jackets like that for winter, not for everyday wear, but you know, I like them. They're comfy. There is work to be done contingent upon information obtainable only from a recent inhabitant of the House of Spiders. And following a discussion with upper management, I have decided to put you to use as the company had originally intended. No TV, no comic books, just a super prickly glare and a cold shoulder whenever I ask for something to pass the time. And now you suddenly need my help, huh? Give me one reason I should cooperate. Hohenheim didn't so much as twitch an eyebrow at Kira's biting tone. He merely gave her a nod with a steely, imperturbable expression. You know, normal Hohenheim shit. I didn't ask for your help. Put you to use, I believe, is what I said. Huh? Your survival is not incidental. It is the result of a calculation. The company anticipates a potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected gain, as the term goes. Without such a forecast on the company's part, you would have already been disposed of. The upper management consists of people who would be disinclined to tolerate the daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this room, even at half their current numbers. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting to reassess your worth, or shall we say, lack thereof, in its projected income statement. Well, suffice to say that such a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor. The outcome... Oh, fucking ads. Can y'all still type /C when you're in ads? I know sometimes they just do the sidebar thing, but I don't know how many of y'all get those. Curious. Do I have phlegm in my throat? Why do I sound so scratchy today when I'm not trying to? Hey Maria, you sub. You don't get fucking ads, right? Do you wanna fucking play Final Fantasy again when the new expansion comes out? Because I'm gonna be going back. If only for a little bit. No? Okay. Fair enough. You thought I'd never... No, that was a nope on ads. Oh, okay. Goddamn stream delay fucking up the talks. Shit. All right, sick. When the fuck is it supposed to come out, though? Damn. I have a really annoying... yeah, 2027. Yeah, boo. Okay, so next year. Good. Plenty of time to do other stuff then. I have a really annoying desire to start up Total Warhammer right now. The call of one more turn cannot be escaped, even when I'm not playing the fucking game. I started a new campaign, by the way. The siege battles didn't get any better, aside from the removable ladders, but we have a lot of catching up to do together. Yeah. I don't really want to play the game until they introduce the new mode, because I don't want to relearn my fucking rotations just to relearn the rotation again when they switch over to the new bullshit. Keep it real, you don't think you've ever loaded a campaign? Wait, what? Really? You've started, every time you've started a campaign, the next time you open the game, you make a new one? Genuinely, or? Because that's funny if it's true. You're exaggerating a bit, but only a little bit. That's fair, honestly. Oh, I opened the fucking workshop page and there's a Cathay rework from Miao Yang. Oh, they want me to start another fucking campaign. What? It's only campaign if it's the campaign region. Fuck off, Lacey. You're gonna commit on playing Picto. It's quickly become your favorite class and presentation vibe. That's fair. I still haven't fucking unlocked it, to be honest. It made me want to play the fucking goddamn. What did you? I do have a mod that I downloaded specifically because I wanted to. You're usually either snowballing or completely fed up with the local Skaven by the time you finish a big session. That's fair. The new campaign I started with Elspeth is kind of snowballing, and I'm kind of annoyed by it. But we'll see what happens once I actually get out of the Empire. I'm slowly cleaning up the. So, funny thing, I had a really easy start. I cleaned up all my starting enemies real fast. I got enough diplomacy to walk past Averheim just so I could beat the shit out of Vlad, so that he would not be a problem. The ogres just decided to not with the Empire for some reason, and the only problem I had was Karazakarak and Zufbar coming down from the mountains and also beating the shit out of Vlad. But fortunately, Karazakarak didn't actually capture anything. They just kicked the shit out of him and left. And also, fortunately, Zufbar wasn't allied with anybody. So I just recently declared war on them to kick the shit out of them and then force them to vassalize. So I can have all of Sylvania and the Empire, and the dwarves can have, their dwarf lands. Oh, and that one green dwarf faction south of Wissenland. I vassalized them because they took the only other city / town, village, whatever, in Averheim. It was annoying, to be honest. But Franz has gone mad and cleaned up and / vassalized a lot of everything in the Empire. The only thing that's really missing is that Marienburg is under control by the French, and I might just go kick the shit out of them and then take it, and then kick the shit out of them until they agree to a peace. or I have to vassalize them. I don't know which. I don't really care. It's funny either way. And then I'm just gonna find trouble, honestly. I don't know with who, but there's got to be somebody. Maybe Cathay is getting its shit rocked, and I can just teleport over to where Gelt is with my magical death powers. I need to research that one thing that lets me see what's going on over there, if he's even still alive. Anyway. Well, suffice to say that such a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor. The outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal. Honheim always had a way with words that could prickle and sting, but with Kira, it almost felt as if he'd traded the usual thorn off for a sharper knife, intent on twisting it right where it hurt. I'm dead meat as soon as my usefulness runs out anyway. Not like you're gonna let me live, not after I killed a bazillion of your guys. Ah, so you anticipated some form of a corporate-level retaliatory response against your person. That is indeed a curious line of reasoning. Then I must tell you that, unlike your typical backstreet syndicate, such as the middle, corporate entities of the city tend to avoid choices that may incur losses. The value of the information that could be extracted from an apprentice of the middle and the combat prowess honed under the tutelage of the great brother of the middle. These two considerations are likely what increased your value in the eyes of the company. Ah, y'all got zero self-respect, huh? You should consider yourself fortunate. Huh? The heck are you on about? Other companies would not solicit your cooperation by means of verbal exchange. Your interrogator would simply open your cranium, harvest your brain, and extract any and all necessary information without going through intermediary steps such as this. Even without resorting to such methods, the range of available means to compel the disclosure of information is practically limitless. Truth serums, hypnotic suggestions, electrical shocks and stimulations, and of course, procedures utilizing distortions and abnormalities. That being said, the LCE department prefers to distance itself from such uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. I do hope that we share a similar predilection. You're so freaking annoying, you know that, mister? The feeling is entirely mutual. Leaving the biting chill of his threats to sink in, Honheim turned toward the exit. I myself am fond of the scientific wailing on your legs with a crowbar method. It doesn't actually get me any information, but it does make me feel better sometimes. Give her some push and bring her along. I don't quite seem to be myself today. No, disregard that. That was a rather foolish thing to say. I will defer this matter to you, manager. Work of this sort likely falls more within your capabilities than my own. And with that, Honheim stepped out of the room, leaving me to deal with Kira. His reaction was understandable. The LCE had only just finished laying its dead researchers to rest. Kira was probably the last person anyone would want to face right now, much less speak to. What should I even say to persuade her? I was still caught in thought when someone quite unexpectedly made her way to Kira. Yoshihide? You... Heard you got stabbed in the back by Matthias. That's not true. Papa wasn't landing a fatal blow unless he cut through me too. That's why he did exactly that, to aim for the enemy's head. Besides, he made the right choice. A little sacrifice ain't a thing in a family. Family. Coming from him, a middle mutt thrown out of his kennel. Doesn't it sound ridiculous, even to you? That's, thrown out? That fucker Matthias was a great brother only by technicality. He fucked up badly. He was still family by name, but underneath it, everyone hoped he'd disappear quietly on his own. He was that family member nobody wanted around. Same treatment for me, being his brat. Not surprising, it's the ST for the bowl cut, too. Same tastes? Young Ryoshu, could it be that thou also dost harbor a passionate zeal for I quickly clapped a hand over Don Quixote's mouth as she smoothly chimed into the conversation. Angry short ass with a giant sword really is peak character archetype? Yeah, I can't deny it. It overlaps with dwarven women being great. And dwarves in general being great. Although those usually go for axes, which is also peak. But, you know, there's a crossover. There's a Venn diagram there, I feel. That would have a lot of peak in the center of it. Oh no, he's the drunkle that shows up at Thanksgiving with opinions. Uh-huh. Are you calling Ryoshu the angry short ass? Or Kira? Yeah. Yes? Ryoshu. Okay. So, funny thing about that, she's like 5'6". Which I know to you and me is, not tall, but still. That's above average. Ugh, fucking... Everything's so dry. You know what? I'm gonna turn my short ass. The only acceptable form of the essay. Short asses. I am going to apply the old lozenge method. Everyone's a short ass to y'all redwood ass motherfuckers. I'm not gonna lie and say that you're wrong. But I can at least recognize that Ryoshu's kind of tall for a lady. And then there's Rhodia, who is fucking giant for a woman. And Ezra. So what exactly is your point? The point is you're taking too long. If you can't decide whether you want to live or die, I can shorten the hesitation. Choose quick, or I'll sink right this instant. What does that mean? Cooperate quietly or I'll snap your neck completely right this instant. Oh my god, that is a fat toucan you just found. I need to see it. Show me the chonk bird. This is important to my mental health. Also, LeMayo Discord just decided to shit itself right then and there. Hilarious. God damn, you weren't joking. Holy shit, chat. You need to see this. You need to see this fucking bird. It's totally undercut any tension that's going on in this fucking scene. This is important. Look at this fucking creature. Look it's fucking round. Borb indeed, yes. Jesus Christ, Toucan Sam needs to lay off the Fruit Loops. Look, man, he's got a brand deal. You know how that is. You of all people should know. You gotta live by the brand deal. You gotta die by the brand deal. All right, let's get our Virgilius back. Oh, okay, back to the actual dialogue. Think isn't such a bad way to go if you're keen on taking that loyalty axe straight to the grave. This is so crappy. Whatever, I get it. Okay, I'll talk if that's what you want so bad. That actually worked? Fixers who go out in a blaze of glory aren't actually the strong ones. It's the ones who survive. The ones who live to see another day and keep getting stronger. Anyway, Yoshihide, what's up with you talking in weird-ass abbreviations? I feel like if you pick that toucan up, it'd just accept its fate. Yeah, probably. I can't imagine a bird would get that fat without human intervention, so it's probably just fine with people touching it. Also, it's definitely in an enclosure, so... What is Ryoshu if not a metaphorical crowbar to the legs? She is definitely that. She's a weird mom. That as well. Even if she doesn't remember it. Like, sink? That's so random. Who even says that? Ryoshu didn't bother to reply and simply chewed on the mouth end of her cigarette. But is this really the right call? To her, we're probably people she needs to settle the score with, you know? As if. Half her tattoos are gone, Clock. They even confiscated her book. You think the middle's sorry excuse for loyalty means so much for this stray that she'd bite us? Besides... No, better hear it from her instead. Hey, tell me why Matthias kicked the bucket. That's 'cause... Well, 'cause Papa was weaker than y'all. Yeah, you're the jerk's brat, alright. Kira pushed herself up from the bed with a sour face, but at least she didn't argue back. And we called Hohenheim, who'd been waiting outside, back in. I assume the prisoner was successfully persuaded? Come, you will find your weapon on the table. You may use it in the event of an emergency. The hell? I can't even unsheath it. Ah, you won't be able to use it without authorization. The code has been slightly adjusted. Now then, let us head to the House of Spiders at once. The back door is up and waiting for us. We made our way to the House of Spiders, with Kira trailing behind us, looking like she was smelling something particularly fishy on us. The only problem with applying the old throat lozenge is that it makes me fucking drool. Can y'all hear that? By the way. No, Greg. No Greg's allowed.
검은 갈아뒀다.
Don't think so?
엄중한 심사.
Definitely makes me feel like I sound sloppy. Only a few days had passed since our visit. The place looked markedly different from what we remembered. The sight of the hollow, frigid atmosphere and the endless stretch of corridors hadn't changed. But Callisto's so-called artworks were now covered in white sheets, and unfamiliar devices were affixed all around the back doors. Really, who might those people thither be? Oh shit, it's the bomb squad! Like some shady bastards moved in already. We didn't want to touch the exhibits, so we just threw tarps over them, because they're fucking gross. Our guarded reaction prompted Hohenheim to step forward and gesture to one of the oddly dressed figures. It seems introductions are in order for both sides. This is team leader Alan from Wayfarer Company, who will be working with us on the investigation into the house's back doors. Wayfarer Company? A corporate entity partnered with Limbus Company responsible for providing portal technology. It has, on prior occasion, been referred to as the New or Aspirant W Corp, though the name is an unofficial one. The stripes make it look like they turned a tracksuit into a hazmat suit. I refuse to believe Alan speaks in anything other than an extraordinarily thick Ukrainian accent now. Or Russian, really. You know what I mean. Slavs. Our employees have also taken to calling you the new L Corp. Something we have in common, given that we're both chasing after the same horizon. That said, I'm not actually gonna put in the effort. You know what? Actually, fuck it. I will. Oh, I remember. The company trying to take W Corp's place, right? That's what she just said, Dante. Who the fuck are you, Solid Snake? The same horizon. Probably talking about getting recognized as a wing. After all, the old L Corp has already fallen, while W Corp, from what I've heard, is free falling at this point. And these are the manager and the sinners. Our field operations unit, frequently deployed to deal with on-site matters firsthand. They have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with other duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining this investigation effort. I understand. Field operations units are almost always understaffed anyway. The support you've provided is more than sufficient. Alan gave an understanding nod. The man slipped off his bulky helmet before extending his hand in greeting. Pleased to make your acquaintance. The name's Alan, leader of Door Breach Team 4. When this came out, they accidentally replaced the art of Alan Night All Guy Jia Chu brought to the evaluation with Alan. Likewise? Before Faust could even relay my reciprocal greeting, words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm, as if my ticking didn't bother him at all, like he was sticking to a script he had rehearsed. Oh no, he's adorable. Look at his librarian glasses. Yeah. He's a goober. I've heard great things about you, Manager Dante of Limbus Company, and the bus team's performance. You capitalized on the suppression of distortions at T-Corp as leverage to push your products, and the profits were nothing short of staggering, I heard. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be distortion resolving specialists to the public. What's that product part about? The manager says it was merely a matter of luck. They also look forward to working with you on this task. Oh, are you the interpreter? In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager only when both of you are available. Sure. Faust didn't seem particularly pleased with the role Alan had pinned on her, but she nodded anyway. She quietly came to my side and answered my earlier question while Alan carried on with Hohenheim. He is referring to the Monolith sales project. The credit was attributed to the LCB at the express request of Mr. Herbert, T-Corp's executive director. Oh, so that's how the rumor spread, huh? We've reviewed the agreements. Now I understand you'll be assisting in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I'd appreciate it if you could share any prior knowledge you have about where these back doors connect, as detailed as you can make them if you don't mind. Rip in peace, translator Faust. No longer Stinky Faust, at least. Hohenheim fixed Kira with a pointed look. Though Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head in a show of irritation, she still gave up a sliver of the information she had. Honestly, I've got pretty much nothing if it's about Robo-Unk in his room. I mean, I've seen Albina hit up that door and the other one over there when she was popping out to farm stuff, but, Farm? Oh, it's, gathering material. I see. What kind of material? Human guts and all that. She'd come back hauling piles of them. So they're probably connected to some back streets area. The back streets. Any more details? Can you stop prying? You're low-key pissing me off, bruh. Oh no. They have upset boy. What? That's literally all I've got, for real. For a moment, Alan leveled Kira with a stiff expression. And even before I could register what had happened, Kira's head jerked to the side from a sudden punch by Alan. Ah! I thought Kira was nimble enough to dodge a surprise attack easily, but this one seemed to have caught her completely off guard. She stood there, blinking, eyes round in rude surprise. Actually, it wasn't that he caught her off guard, it was the motion of the punch itself that somehow felt off. The fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact. The chain of actions was there, but it just didn't look normal. Did you just hit me? What the hell's wrong with... As Kira reeled from the unexpected strike, Don Quixote spoke up in a cold, sharp tone. Thou, what manner of discourtesy is this? With all that whining, I thought the brat could use a lesson to remind her of her place. I had no intention of damaging your company asset, of course. I simply assumed the level of warning would not be inappropriate in this case. Team leader Alan. That sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is here. Should it happen again, do understand that we may choose to terminate today's joint engagement without delay. My apologies. I will keep that in mind going forward. Alan stood down without arguing back, but Kira looked far from satisfied with how Hohenheim handled the situation. He gets to sock me in the face and walk off scot-free? So frickin' annoying. Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate into her lashing out at Alan. That punch just now, though, what was that? It exhibited a behavior that defied the standard laws of physics. Presumably a form of technology utilized by Wayfarer Company. Let us resume the task at hand. Center Ryoshu. Give team leader Alan whatever information you have. That door should lead to one of the ring-protected turfs. The other two on the left, I remember they were marked with an X painted with blood. But I have no idea where they actually lead. It's all blurry. Seems that's all the information we can provide. Will that suffice? We now know that the doors likely connect to a perceivable area. That's already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarer Company's backdoor mapping process. Which means there's less chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past those doors. Alright then. I shall proceed with connection verification. Which door shall we test first? We'll start with the one Ryoshu mentioned. Just tie a rope to Dawn and send her in. If she explodes, don't go in that one? You don't trust me at all, huh? Then why even bring me along? Ignoring Kira's jab, Alan began setting up various devices on the door. And soon an elegant white door opened before us. Shall we? Art thou joining us as well, young Hohenheim? Just this once. There are procedures for handing over field operations. Alright, let's get to it. What? Is this some kind of wildlife exhibit? The moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns from the sinners. Thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out a room filled with statues, or perhaps taxidermied animals. Fuck is that thing supposed to be? It felt like a gallery of sorts, but it was so quiet that the air itself seemed to carry a strange, somber weight. Oh no, it's your grandparents' house? Yo, why do your grandparents have a stuffed gorilla crab? That's weird. After a moment, someone shattered the silence, but it wasn't Don Quixote, our usual suspect. Holy shit. The scale is just insane. That's the whale from the 8 Association Great Lakes Special Issue. Kira, who'd seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with a bit more energy in her voice. Man, seeing it in real life sure hits different. And the Indigo Elder solo one-shots these monsters with that harpoon of his, huh? Wow. The Great Lake whale, doesn't look like the one we've encountered, though. Organisms of various sources can be identified here. Singularity modified, outskirts born. Grandpa used to hunt. Short attention span activated. More just that she's, like, got something to be enthusiastic about. They look almost alive. They're not, right? No, they're not alive, but... Duh, the Robo-Unk did say that the ring has these zoos where they put monsters on display alive. And this would have been way more fun if we could see them moving ones. Especially everything's here's dead. Eh. Still looks crazy sick though. The vibe really hits. God, she's such a fucking zoomer. Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira kept sneaking glances at the massive horned display off to the side. Clearly surprised in a way she couldn't hide. That said, I felt a distinct shortage of hyperactivity. Given the presence of a certain someone in our party. Don Quixote? Stop saying Robo-Unk, you'll summon Liang's Force Ghost. I have a second kindred of House Tepesh? What is it doing here? At the mention of the word kindred, I couldn't help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. Opposite the whale was another kind of exhibit. It contained items leaning on the more gruesome side of things, starting with a crimson eyeball that caught Don Quixote's attention, and body parts like hands and bones that looked as though they had been stripped from the human body. It's a gallery. Of the school of Fauvism. Probably a main studio at that, which comes with a maestro's atelier and an auction house. Alan, we will be making our exit shortly and prepare to initiate lockdown sequence. Before Hohenheim could even finish his urgent transmission, numerous footsteps closed in from somewhere nearby. Turning toward the sound of shoes clacking on the floor, we found strange figures wearing animal masks staring directly at us. That presence is kind of like Papa's. Ain't no way, that's not a raid boss we can clear at our level. We gotta get out of here. Not that simple. Retreating is not a viable solution here. This door is connected to the House of Spiders. Escaping without installing a security system will invite pursuit. We must stall them until Alan is ready to initiate the lockdown sequence. God damn it. As tension thickened, one of the strangers who wore a peculiar bone mask stepped forward. The voice that spoke to us carried equal part curiosity and delight. You came through that door. Then the house's fall wasn't just a baseless rumor. A stray little spiderling fallen from her parents' web. How many years has it been? Who are you? All right, it makes sense that you would fail to recognize me. I used to wear a different mask back when I used to visit as your tutor, didn't I? A wolf, if memory serves right. Yes, that must have been when I was quite captivated by the sensation of tearing into the raw, still thrashing flesh of living prey. And the predator's ferocious yet cavernously resonant howling. Rings a bell? You're that maestro whose whole lesson was a 3-hour sermon praising the intensity of primary colors and the strength of living creatures. Benoit, was it? That's right, Emile Benoit. And they say you can't hatch a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply, I see. Looks like that mind of yours is still sly as a raven, unlike your nurse father's. Don't presume. I only remember you because the tactility of hides and guts made for a passable AW. At first glance, it looked like Ryoshi was casually taking a trip down memory lane with the maestro. But I had a feeling she was, in fact, dragging this out on purpose to buy us time. That lockdown sequence thing. How much longer till it's ready? Young Hohenheim, the lockdown sequence. Young Don Quixote, who had been shooting the ring members an incensed glare sparked by the discovery of a kindred's eye, swiftly relayed my words to Hohenheim without even a hint of her earlier shenanigans. I'm afraid the progress and speed of the lockdown sequence lies in Alan's hands, not mine. It is, by nature, a time-consuming work. We cannot expect haste. Perhaps that does make this a suitable juncture to trial Plan A. Plan A? Any suggestions that involve Don Quixote removing her shoes will not be dignified with a serious discussion. Yep, Don turned off the goofy. We're in danger. Instead, Maybe what Hohenheim had in mind had nothing to do with Don Quixote's shoes, because he opened his mouth as though he was about to retort to Faust's categorical rejection. But the moment he followed Faust's eyes and saw what she was looking at, he quietly shut his mouth and said nothing further. Faith in potentiality is not something I dislike. As for this, however, this seems more like grasping at straws. At the end of their gaze was Ryoshu's blade, Arayashiki. I was going to try using it anyway. I've long wanted to see if a maestro's death is any different. Telling you that we were just leaving won't work, will it? No, it won't. Every individual present here would be quite the fascinating specimen to the artists of the ring. We are practically a windfall of inspiration and material that has so conveniently been delivered to them. Is it improbable that they will allow us to It is. Wait, is it improbable that they will... I think they got the order of that mixed up. Faust is right. Shu and Hohenheim are geniuses, and Ryoshu is the wielder of Arayashiki. Don Quixote is a kindred of a higher generation, and I happen to house a golden bow in my head. I have no idea how much information the ring has on us, but even if they knew nothing, they wouldn't let us go easily. Are you sure about this, Ryoshu? Doesn't matter if I'm sure about this or not, Clock. Think of that woman as Lai Hung, and do as you did in H.G.'s mansion. I'll take care of the rest. Right, that's probably our best shot, I guess. What Ryoshu meant was quite clear. Resonate with the golden bow, secured advantage to fight on equal footing, then catch them off guard by slowing them down the flow of time. A cut from the Arayashiki, even if it doesn't give us a real fighting chance, might at least stall the maestro long enough to give us the time to get away. This floor of the exhibit only houses submissions from students and docents. But if you look closely enough, there are some passable ones that show the promise of excellence. And above all, this is the gallery of the School of Fauvism. And mine, the gallery of Emile Benoit. Which is why I would have preferred to take you without an unnecessary fight, if possible. A shame. Still, we're talking about a unique relic here, a masterless one at that. Acquiring the Arayashiki makes it worth the cost. If you want a taste... Confusion flickered across Ryoshu's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. What's the matter? Ow? The lock the House of Spiders used to bind the Arayashiki no longer exists, so why can't I draw the blade? Now that's unexpected. Though the rumors of you mastering the relic, were they false? The maestro only gave a loose swing of her arm. Her? Shit. But it was enough to make Ryoshu recoil. A shadow of surprise crossed her face. She forgot her pin number? Aw, damn, I hate it when that happens. The wound looked like nothing more than a light gash, yet the maestro's contemplative gaze shifted between the blood on Ryoshu's arm and her own, as though the attack had been an experiment to prove a hypothesis. It wasn't hard to guess what she was thinking. Noticed, did you? I had my doubts from the moment I saw you today. Was the House of Spiders a success or a failure? Tell me, Yoshihide, what do you think a serpent's defining strength is? What are you on about now? Ask any student and they'll give the same predictable answers. The deadly venom, the sleek scales. Why, it's lamentably disappointing. The maestro advanced toward us with an unassured certainty, then seized a beige thread dangling from the ceiling. No, calling it a mere thread would be wrong. It was something that resembled a thread, yet felt much more disturbing. I, for one, have a particular liking for the jaw and the spine. The flexibility of the spine linked like a chain, and the jaw bound not by bone, but by ligaments that allow the animal to swallow its prey whole. Perhaps I should have said that I admire their structural refinement. The ice-coiled ring on her finger gave off a cold light, and the walls and the ceiling suddenly began to echo with the sickening squelch and crack of flesh and bones assembling. What the fuck is that? Which brings me to ask, what better way to claim this delivery of promising material with a single bite than a work of art fashioned from a snake? The maestro plunged her arm into the long serpentine body of a monster. Her sheer presence radiated a pressure oppressive as that of the nurse fathers, only more primal and untempered. Consider it a privilege. This is the first time this piece has ever been exhibited to an outsider. Hohenheim, is the lockdown sequence still not ready? 1 minute to go. 1 minute to go, step aside. The attack from the ego gear Hohenheim hastily brandished didn't even last a moment. The weapon was knocked from his hand. As I scrambled to equip the sinners with their identities, something abruptly stopped the beast-like appendage midway through its hurtling motion. And the one who intercepted the blow... Ah, shit! Was Kira, struggling to push back against the serpentine arm with her still-sealed blades. Kira? You suddenly have a change of heart I wasn't aware of? Shit, this wasn't the plan at all! Obviously not. She couldn't have changed her mind that quickly. Because the look on her face couldn't be anything other than that of utter regret. The middle, For someone who doesn't appear to be a proper member, you've inked quite the quantity of tattoos on yourself. Ah, you must have been the new kit Matthias took in. Why do you stand in my way? Fucked if I know. I'm already regretting it, alright? Damn it, they're gonna defo ditch me here. Why did I even... Must be instinct taking over. Couldn't fully shake off the opponent's killing intent, so the body chose to clash head on. So, the behavioral facet of the psyche can be controlled with suitable training. Unexpected data, but useful to be sure. Shut it, mister! Quit yapping and let me use my blades! Authorized and ready. Lifting locks. Go. Kira's thermal weapons emerged from their sheaths with a metallic clang. She used the recoil of the motion to skid back and assume a defensive stance. Naturally, that broke Benoit's arm from the deadlock as well. Maestro lashed out again with that monstrous limb, but... Huh? It's a foul injustice to strike against an unprepared opponent in a duel. Behold, for I shall allow thee a glimpse of the badass form that only the most renowned of fixers have displayed through the ages. Being an opening, Don Quixote slammed it into the arm with their full might, knocking it off its trajectory. Why am I stuttering so much tonight? Jesus. Fuck is wrong with me? Predictably, however, the sheer force of the Maestro's attack instantly reduced her to a red sludge of flesh and bone, sending her remains crashing into the floor. Or the door, excuse me. Ready to initiate lockdown sequence. I will seal the door immediately upon your exit. Everyone to the door. Faust, retrieve the organic remains of sinner number 3. Watch this shit ass! Explodes. Yeah, fucking Dawn moment. Behold my mighty glory of adventuring power! Explodes. Turns into a red smear. As Faust made her exit with what was once Don Quixote, the students of the ring surrounded Kira, barring her way out. A hollow chuckle slipped out of her lips. Called it for real. This is exactly why I didn't want to get involved. Taking Kira back with us would mean having a sizable force of the ring trail right behind her through the door. Kira, too, seemed to have realized the risk that no one in their right mind would want to take. She lowered her head in defeat, as though she knew full well the fate that awaited her. Form few have ever... Oh, wait, no. Lots of people have seen her explode. Yeah. I'm such a dumbass. What was I thinking? Diving in like that. Puddle, formerly known as Don Quixote, shall be reconstituted into an appropriately strong form. You... Don't just stand there. Get over here now. Uh-huh. But these guys are gonna come flooding in if I... Talk too much. You wanna get cleaved in half again? You pin this on me later. You're gonna pay. Blocking the Maestro's arm by a hair as it came down on her, Kira hurled herself toward the door with every bit of strength she could muster. More than a few students rushed in through the doorway, chasing after the sinners who had gone in ahead, but... Lockdown sequence complete. All backdoor links have been cut. Fortunately, Alan managed to sever the connection between the two backdoors before the maestro could cross over. Bowl cut. Think you can still use your arms? I'm fine. So she says, Kira would be a strong enough addition to fight for us, but the ring members that have managed to cross formed a rather sizable force. Fighting them off with just the sinners I have at my side would not be the best course of action. In that case, guys, I assume you're all available right now? As soon as I call out to the sinners, their voices come through Hohenheim's radio one after another. Huh? I guess so. Ready for your order, Executive Manager? I, Otis, am prepared to answer your call whenever and wherever. Huh? Hang on, I just need to finish this bite. Everyone to me. No, Rhodia, you can't finish the cake. I am summoning your ass right now. This is important.
단순해서 좋건 9번 수감자. 물론 좋은 성과를 갖고 돌아온다면 달고 짭짤한 걸 준비해두지.
I never noticed that line before with the Virgilius announcer. I appreciate how easy it is to get on your good side, Rhodia. I'll give you a cake or something if you do good, I promise. One-sided guard? Wait. What's the unhit? Oh, it's clashable. Yeah, we'll accept the neutral. Welcome to the fucking brawl, bitches.
직접 싸워보지 않아서 그게 효과적일 것이라고 생각했나? 관리자의 전투 교육도 위에 제시해야 할 수 있겠어.
Power guard? 412 versus 413 or 3. Yeah, the counter's better slightly. Neutral. Defense. So lost his.
그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 일 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이 덜 답답한 법이지. 강력한 공격은 단순히 적을 제거하는 이점만 있는 것이 아니죠. 이제 저들은 자신도 그렇게 될 거라는 불안에 휩싸일 테니.
14 versus 12 to 11. Yeah. It's less bad, at least. Sided guard. 513 versus 412. Yeah, we'll let it roll.
보여드려야겠군요. 왜냐하면 예술을.
Well, ads. Alright, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, get some more drink while I'm at it.
단테. 나쁘지 않은 성과입니다. 삼촌. 설마 아무런 지휘도 안 하고 가만히 있는 겁니까, 단테?
Oh man, I didn't actually hit the fucking ad break button. Sorry about that. A hydrate from Roto. Hi, Roto. How you doing, buddy?
꿰뚫려라.
Salute. I would salute to you as well, but I cannot. I don't know how to do that. I don't have that programmed into my shit. Could be better, not gonna lie. Aw, what's going on, man? Assuming you don't mind talking about it. Training this weekend something fierce? Oh.
일깨워 주시는군요.
Yeah, Jidogi said you wouldn't be streaming this weekend. Guessing you got work bullshit to deal with?
이제야 친해졌네요.
그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없진 않았군요.
너희의 무기로 이 혈투를 승리로
적합한
이끌.
조치였습니다.
We're going wild. Drill weekend, and you just, for the first time in years and years, you just don't want to be there. Oh, I'm sorry, bud. I don't actually know what drill weekend entails for you, but I'm sorry you feel that way. Things have been rough for you lately. Don't blame you for just feeling worn down if that's what it is.
이제야 친해졌네요.
Things have been rough for all of us, but you specifically have been having a hard time in your day-to-day life.
나라도 그렇게 했을 테지.
Hey, thanks for the 7-stream streak, man.
아류산 초평열 80.
I appreciate you coming along.
갈라지도록.
I know you don't really like get into Limbus, so I appreciate you being here. We were talking about Total Warhammer a second ago. Something against Limbus? You're pretty mad in the whole genre, to be honest. That's fair. What is the genre of Limbus aside from gacha game? Gacha game is a business model more than a genre. You mean like visual novels? Because that's the storytelling. You can make any fucking anything into a gacha if you wanted to. It's only the first door, and the impediments are already beyond expected levels. Turn-based card battler? I guess that is what it is. Turn-based card battler for the actual game mechanics and visual novel for the rest of it. Just, you can do VNs. You have done VNs. Just gachas in general. You bounce off of. Limbus seems pretty good. Limbus is the best, like, I'm not gonna say it's my favorite gacha game because I have others that I'm more like I've been invested in for a long time. But it's yeah, I understand. Gacha games are controversial and understandably so. They're kind of fucked. And when I say kinda, I'm understating it. It's a decidedly predatory business model at the heart of it. Although, apparently it can be done in a way that isn't predatory, as it is with Limbus. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Limbus is the only gacha game I've ever played that feels like it doesn't mind if you don't spend money. I have spent money. Not much, especially not compared to other games I've played. But that was because I felt like the game was worth it rather than I felt compelled to for like the ability to play the game as I have with many others. If that makes sense. You know, it feels more like a hey, we put out this thing on whatever the fuck for free, and if you feel like it's worth money, you can give it to us. That'd be cool. You don't have to. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. The business model is, or their pushing of the gacha levers is much more chill and low key. And the fact that you can just play the game and still get everything you could need to actually like beat it in the story, even though there has been power creep. Excuse me. You can still get like plenty of good characters and stuff to just without paying any money at all. And I think that is interesting, which is why I know that you don't like really care. I'm just talking about it to talk about it because I think it's cool at this point. Because I'll be real with you, gacha games are fun at their core just because people like gambling. And that's fine. But when you like push people into the gambling, I don't like it. If people just want to get around and like chuck some money at a card game, at like poker because they enjoy playing poker and it gives them a little bit of a thrill or whatever, cool, whatever, that's fine. But once they feel like pressured to by the organization running the poker tournament or whatever the fuck, or the event, then I have a problem with it. Characters don't even need to be on the banner to get them. It's better explained on the extraction tab. It is, yeah. Ultimately, everything that's in the game can be earned through playing it. And it's a grind. It can be, for sure. I'm not gonna say it won't, and it's not. Because honestly, the Asian demographic, Korea, Japan, and China, and all them, the games that they tend to put out do seem like they culturally enjoy the grind, or maybe I'm reading into it too much, but you know, it's honestly not that much of a grind anyway. It's not like I'm playing fucking Lineage 2 back in the day where I kill 37,000 boars to get a quarter of a level and then some random asshole rolls up, goes red, and kills me, and I lose that level and like 25% of the one previous to it, so I have to do all of it over again. Did any of you play Lineage 2, by the way? It's the feeling of accomplishment and structured gameplay. Yeah, that's true. And I also appreciate that. So easy to get that dopamine hit. You saw the game? and say you ever played it. It was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like innovative or anything. It was a JRPG that was an MMO. It had classes and advanced classes and all that kind of shit, you know. That kind of thing. It was honestly just kind of another JRPG. The aesthetic was neat. I liked the art. It was kind of dark and gritty, and a grittier version of like the usual fucking manga Japanese adventurer style shit. You know what I mean? Fantasy stuff. Accidentally disassembled my fucking nail clippers. Hold on a second. Heart's rolling around. Floor. How the fuck did I do this? The first MMO you ever played was Perfect World in 08 because it was free to play? Yeah, I think I played Perfect World. Shit, get in. Get in there. Boy, this is just ripping content, isn't it? God damn. Yeah, the first MMO I ever played, I think, was Star Wars Galaxies. Like, way back in the day, before they redid it into basically a WoW clone. And then I played WoW. And a whole bunch of other MMOs. It's really weird how I really like the MMO, which is basically just a social experience with a kind of half-baked, almost good game bolted onto it, even though I'm extremely antisocial and don't want to be around people a lot of the time. Maybe it's because I can just leave whenever the fuck I want. I should bring this up to my therapist. Maybe I can discuss it with her. Problem is that you couldn't afford monthly subs as a teen, and as a kid we had dial-up still. Yeah, I was a spoiled little bitch. I will admit that, and I know it's true because I played Warhammer when I was growing up, and I had multiple armies. My parents would pay for my subs for various games, for various MMOs that I was playing. And, you know, I was a spoiled little bitch, and I played a lot. I played a lot of MMOs, played WoW, played Star Wars Galaxies, played fucking City of Heroes for a good while, Lord of the Rings Online, which I kind of miss these days, because it had its special bit. I played Rift when it came out, liked the class system. Everything else kind of fell apart because nobody else liked the game, because it was basically just WoW but with weird classes, which ultimately ended up being into, you know, just more classes than people normally had, because it always gets optimized out to fucking shit. You know how it is. People will optimize the fun out of any fucking game that exists. Yeah, that's why you bounced off Arcade. Arcade I liked. It had a fun aesthetic. I like the idea of those like PvP sandbox MMOs, but I like playing I like playing Black Desert Online. I don't know why well, I know why, because it's just, you know, an empire management thing, but I get to run around as a giant woman with huge titties, which everybody, you know, shouldn't be surprised by that being a fucking draw for me. But other than that, I don't really care about the end game of it. The gearing is whatever. I don't want to be the super high level. I don't want to go fight people. Kind of want to hang out in town and run my empire and be the character. The last MMO you got deep into, multiple accounts, multi-boxing and all that, was Eve. Yeah, Eve you kind of have to go hardcore on, or you don't go anywhere at all, I feel. Because I played it for a little bit, and it was fun-ish, but I also felt like it was kind of huddling around. Played Perfect World, WoW, Final Fantasy 11, 14, Eve. Small ones. Looking at Albion Online. Albion Online is the one that's like isometric, right? I think I messed with that. It's been a while. It's kind of fuzzy. Yeah, it was all right. It's again another one of those like sandbox PvP auction house simulators. So it makes me nervous because I know that people will try to kill me if I give them the chance. You like the idea of the class and skill systems? Don't know how long you'll go along with it. Yeah, that's fair. I usually get invested in the mechanics and worry that I like how the game feels. I like the sandbox of it. I like supporting the like war effort for larger. See, that's the thing. And I played Warhammer Online too. I loved the fuck out of Warhammer Online. But I went into that knowing that it was basically just a big PvP fest. Dungeons and DDO? Dungeons and Dragons Online? God, I haven't thought about that one in forever. Played that. Yeah. Too. Yeah, it was fun. Get into Warhammer Online till it died and it was just private servers. Yeah. I always wanted to go and get on the private server that's run. But I don't know. I have other stuff to do and I don't know anybody there. So I'd just be there and I'm always worried that the lakes will be dry, so to speak. I swear, I thought that was it for me back there. Events of this nature be frequent. We were merely beset by ill luck. If you'd just listened to me and picked another door, we would have gotten cooked. We wouldn't have gotten cooked like that in the first place. Yeah, you've made a few attempts at it, but never got a few minutes into it for that reason. The only one you played till the very end of the story was Phantasy Star Online 2, and interacting with other people in any capacity besides fighting with them is entirely optional there. Same with Star Wars Galaxy private servers. Yeah. I've been thinking about going back to Star Wars, going back to the Old Republic for a little bit at some point, just cause. I went and watched the trailers again to show some friends that that they were cool. But you never touched the Old Republic? The Old Republic is one of like 4 games that I've ever rated in. I rated in WoW. I rated in Lord of the Rings. Actually, no. Wait, what the fuck? I rated in WoW. I rated in Lord of the Rings Online, which was very short-lived and also very strange as an experience. I rated in Age of Conan, which I haven't thought of in forever. And every time I do, I always think the first thing I always remember after remembering that it exists is the fact that there was a veteran account ability that you got that made your character's boobs bigger temporarily. Which was so fun, which obviously was very interesting to me as a young teenager, an early teenager and onward. I also liked the combo system for one of the classes in that game. It was fun. It had good animations. What the fuck else did I rate in? Wow. Final Fantasy XIV. Well. The Old Republic, Lord of the Rings Online, Final Fantasy XIV, Age of Conan is there the 6th one, but I'm not sure. My brain is telling me that there's another one, but I can't remember what the fuck it is, so. I didn't raid in Guild Wars 2, I know that much. I did world bosses because, you know, you kind of have to, but that doesn't really count as raiding. Not sure if Eve Giant Wars count in Perfect World raids. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you could say that the Giant Wars count in Eve, because that's ultimately the only real endgame content that I'm aware of. Perfect World raids, I don't know what they really constitute, but probably counts. I did World v World in Guild Wars 2. It's not the same as WoW raiding, but it's the big group content that people do. I guess there are raids in Guild Wars 2 now. I've never done them though. Maria does. I never really got into Phantasy Star Online 2. Like, I have it. I do have the game. And I've played New Genesis and the one before it, but I really only installed it because I saw that there was a thing, an accessory you could get for your character that was basically just giant titties that you could slap on the front of yourself. And we all know that I have zero fucking self-control when it comes to giant titties. I believe I was gifted them by a friend who was also playing the game at the time. And then I, you know, continued playing for a while because giant titties, and then I just got tired of it and stopped playing. I didn't really have anybody to play with, so I was just gonna run around doing quests aimlessly. And I didn't really understand what was going on. And the combat was weird. And I didn't really understand it. It was one of those weird MMOs where there was not really an open world and you just kind of went in and did missions. Kind of like Dungeons & Dragons Online, to be honest. Because that's mostly what I did in DDO. You just go into, like, dungeons and do, like, teleport to a quest area and then finish the dungeon run or whatever, then fuck off back to the city. PSO2 is funny in that the meta game was entirely in the drip. Fashion was entirely separate from gear, so you had all kind of costumes. You liked DDO because it felt like 3.5 but a video game? You see, I liked that it felt like 3.5 but a video game, but so one of the things that really annoys the shit out of me about all those, like, video games that came a while ago that were built off of the 3.5 system, but they were real time. It worked, but it was annoying as shit sometimes because 3.5 is inherently a turn-based game. But none of them actually, like, indicated that to you in any capacity in the way that their real-time with pause systems and worked and the time flowed. So, Neverwinter Nights 2, KOTOR 2, you know, like fucking Baldur's Gate, which I didn't actually play when it was not an action RPG, until 3 came out, and that was turn-based. Fucking Pillars of Eternity, the Pathfinder games. All of them were real-time with pause, and it irritates the shit out of me because I like... The game isn't built for it. You know? So you have to constantly pause and unpause to actually be able to select the 1,000,005 spells that you have. If you have any kind of caster, which is kind of important, you know. I don't know, it's just fucking weird. Pillars of Eternity added a turn-based mode recently. You need to check it out. I also need to check it out, but, you know, like, I have 37 fucking different gacha stories I need to catch up on. I got, like, 4 days left to do all this stuff in ZZZ that's seasonal currently. I'm gonna have to do a lot of it tomorrow. I got Arknight story to read and main story to catch up on. I've got GFL 2 story to catch up on for the main stuff since I'm current on events. I got this, which I'm almost done with, although obviously it slows down a bit when I talk to people, which is fine with me, but I got fucking original GFL story I want to catch up on, because you know what? Shockingly, it seems to be the only gacha game that's actually reached the end of its story. I thought you were going back to GFL 2, Maria, for a little bit. Because I saw an announcement on the original GFL game's Twitter account the other day that the, like, end of the game story event is coming up. There's a reason the turn-based mod for Pathfinder Kingmaker was so popular that it was included in base game Wrath of the Righteous. Was it included in base game Wrath of the Righteous? I thought they patched it into the original. Against your better judgment, you decided not to just wanting to get Helen. That's fair. When you say included, it's literally just the Kingmaker mod with credits in the game filed to the creator. Lol. I mean, if it works, it works. No reason not to. Oh, what the fuck? It's also kind of scary how poorly the game is doing at the moment. What do you mean? What do you mean doing poorly? Fucking light fell down. Hold on. TFL 2 is doing poorly? Like GFL2 Global is bleeding out players because apparently they did something a few months back that shot all the goodwill they had with the global scene. Huh? I don't know what that could be. Some motherfucker said they want Rufo to sit on their face. Is that weird? It hasn't recovered since? Are they wrong? No. If you can find like an article or something about it, let me know or send it to me, please. Hello, Yisong. How you doing? I can't imagine wanting Rufo to sit on your face is an unusual sentiment among the player base. Anyway, why the fuck am I so hoarse today? Same thing for literally any other female character in Limbus, bro? Yeah, I guess. That's probably even that fucking K-Corp lady whose name you can't remember. Which one is K-Corp again? K-Corp is the one with the ampules, right? You mean Monster CEO? The girl who looks like a fucking monster can? Yeah? Alfonso. That's her name. I forgot. It's a weird name. If you just listened to me and picked another door, we wouldn't have got cooked like that in the first place. Like, why even drag me into this if you weren't gonna trust me, weirdos? We would have opened them all at the end of the day. SD. What a dumbass name. It's a nice name. I like Alfonso. It's just strange. Unusual. SD. What's that? Same difference. Again, why shorten it like that? Just say duh or something. Or just spell it out and say it was anticipated. How to make Hohenheim lose job? Yeah. That's WA. Good work, everyone. Wayfarer does have the team dedicated to this sort of task, but the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing the first door of an expedition without any casualties are under 15%. This, by all measures, counts as a flawless expedition. Tapping away at his device, Alan addressed us with an amicable smile. He seems totally different from the same man who had manhandled Kira with a fist to her face. Those Falvis won't be able to cross over anymore with the door completely locked down, right? That cannot be asserted with certainty. Are you saying more might come? The corridors and back doors have always been the ring's turf clock, and those Falvis beasts have endured as the long-standing faction within the ring. If they've got that much history, they must know many back doors, both the origin and destination points. Ellen clarified what Ryoshi was hinting at. Yes, compared to them, we lack sufficient knowledge of alternate routes, which makes it difficult to prevent infiltration. Love how Wafer is just a backrooms reference. Yeah. He's fun. Aside from being a fucking asshole. No need to concern yourselves over much. Even if that were the case, it is unlikely they would move on the House of Spiders so soon. They could always rush for a surprise attack, though. Even that Falvist maestro seemed to lack a clear intel on the event that took place at the House of Spiders. If so, it follows that they will need time to assess and deliberate about the situation. The situation? The logical scope of their concerns will be identifying the organization that secured the House of Spiders, the possibility of additional traps beyond the back doors, and the like. You hope Alan gets the Limbus side character treatment? That would be fun. Once all backdoor-related procedures tied to the House of Spiders are completed, the resulting security framework should be able to preempt and block any infiltration attempts. This operation is more important than I thought. That aside, why couldn't I draw the blade? Is it the new scabbard's fault? Ryoshu lifted the sheathed sword with an irritated frown. And that's when I felt a faint vibration. The blade was twitching ever so slightly. Quivering most faint, 'twas seen by all indeed. Damn, I saw it too. Is it possessed or something? Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the sword twitching, as though it wasn't pleased at all with how Ryoshi was talking about the scabbard. I have a really good middle duo MDE going, but I'm stuck at floor 10 because of Dongrong and the BS4 stagger mechanic. Wait. Does that overcome Keith Cardo's stagger immunity for middle IDs? It does? Wow, damn, annoying. Guess you can't get everything all the time. Force Tagger trumps the resist in most, if not all cases. Ah, that does make sense. Oh well. Ryoshu's gaze lingered on the sword before slowly shifting toward the back doors. Could it be that seeing the scabbard brought back some memory of Araya? Ryoshu, do you... Is it an SS? A demon edge? An enchanted blade? Which is it? It's probably neither of those. Nor is it a sentient sword. This presents a fine opportunity to conduct another examination of the sword. Excuse us for a moment, Team Leader Alan. Please, feel free to go ahead. The attack just now damaged some devices, so we're going to have to perform some maintenance before continuing. There's plenty of other work for me to do while you're away. Oh, yeah. Of course she is. Like, that was really, really explicit in the Kanto. Are we to return to the headquarters research facility then? No, that won't be necessary. There is a facility here that should prove more than adequate. Pop, 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 pop. Anyone do that? Because, like, what the fuck? I mean, she did.
파우스트는 이번에야말로
We
완성했어요.
deleted Catherine from reality. You think we can't?
마에스트로님께서도
We,
인정할
the
수밖에
other
없을
bullshit similar to that
완벽한
can't
해체를.
occur?
파시아도 파우스트의 생각에 동의한다고 하네요.
Hohenheim brought us to what looked like a research lab lined with cables, rows of screens, and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders. Catherine was removed from damn near existence, yet Heathcliff still remembers somewhat? Yeah, well, he's the one who had the golden bow in him. He's weird and exempt. Oh, this is a forward base constructed by Limbus Company following Operation Spiderpire. It did not exist prior to the house's fall. It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena observed during the operation. Irregular phenomena? An example, research subjects such as a spatial analysis of the correlation between the emergence of Sinner 11's sign and the manifestation of possible future. Oh. Looking around, I spotted Sinclair and a group of researchers surrounding him, the same people who dragged him off earlier. They were accompanied by a gaggle of sinners who had tagged along to either watch the show or kill some time while they took a breather after work. Hohenheim, how long will the examination take? With Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded, the analyzer device should be available for the relic now. Which means that it should be finished in an hour from now at the latest. Time, killing time, but I don't have enough brains to regenerate the boss. Ugh. The scabbard rattled again at the mention of an hour. I don't know why or how, but the way it swayed almost felt like a child trembling. Moving again. Oh, the analysis on Sinclair came back, by the way. It says he's fucking short. Who could have guessed? Come along, Ryoshu. I expect you will want to witness the procedure. Fine. Ryoshu and Hohenheim headed off to the side. The examination was probably going to start immediately. Time to get to Sinclair then. Wait. I was making my way towards Sinclair, who was getting bombarded with questions. When an unexpected figure behind a pillar caught my eye. It was Vespa Crabro, with a big piece of paper covered in crooked handwriting taped to his back. Snack thief? Ah, manager. Karen's snacks. Mr. Stringbean ate up all of them. Sorry, but I think there's been some misunderstanding. Berg, kick his ass. Not only is this matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Karen also shares some of the responsibility for leaving them out on the table unattended. Still, I would prefer you exercise more care next time, or you'll put me in a tough spot. Understood. Karen, super sulky mode engaged, not talking for half a day. Playing super pass bitter candy. Beep beep, mode disabled. I'm not sure if this is an appropriate request, but may I remove the paper from my back now? It's a little inconvenient for me. Karen forgives this time. Next time, no mercy. Best make sure she doesn't listen to that radio channel again. Virgilius looked on with an inscrutable expression as Karen peeled the snack thief sign off Vespa's back. Make sure to remember this so I don't have to think I'm burning through what little candy chance I have left on such trivial nonsense. Thank you. Vespa gave a polite thanks. But he was already picking something off another plate and stuffing it into his mouth. Wait a minute, I was saving that for later. I assumed you were being picky. Well, now you know, yet I still see you gobbling up my share. Ugh, he took my snack too. Verg, kick his ass. Rodion Romanovich, I am aware that half of the total snack budget allocated to each sinner is being funneled into your snacking expenses, and now you're raiding the LCE's supplies as well. Chill, that's totes been agreed upon, okay? Besides, that's that, and this is this, you know? The lines on Virgilius's brow looked deeper than usual today. Classic bodybuilder can't reach their whole back. Yeah. Funny. Hoping to help him out of his this endless cycle of snack-related headaches and to satisfy my own nagging curiosity, I draw near our guide and broke his brooding silence with my TikToks. Did we learn anything about Sinclair's sign? Dante is inquiring about the outcome of the research on the sign. I've heard from the researchers, but nothing of particular significance came out of it. Observation of the sign has so far been limited to 2 individuals, the manager and Sinclair. Due to their limited accessibility to the phenomena, the only verifiable information so far has been its existence. Researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult. Chaos has a point. Aside from Sinclair, none of the sinners can actually see the sign. And the same would go for the researchers. Even Sonia said only a select few people could see it. If there were more individuals bearing signs, there would be a wider pool for comparative analysis of statistical samples to narrow down the scope. However, records indicate no suitable references exist. At present, the research effort is limited to reducing variables such as whether or not the irregular phenomena are tied to the location where the battle took place. Duck. By individuals bearing signs, do you mean people like Demian and Sanson? Wait, then could those guys do... Wait, then could those guys do what Sinclair did? Pull in some superpowered future self and just wreck everything? Even Sonia? I should step in and put an end to this subject before Rhodia gets to the blues. I don't think so, from what Ishmael and Faust reported back then. Right, Sinclair from the future said each sign carries a different power, I think. Maybe, you know, those layers of light rings Demian used to finish off Cromer or Sanson, dragging us into his story. Those could be it. Aye, that does seem plausible. So, none of that is information we can confirm yet. Correct. As you have stated, any discussion of this subject would not venture beyond the realm of wild speculation. Nothing has been proven yet, ergo the fear would be an unnecessary response at present. Fighting Earl King Heathcliff with Heathcardo solo. Yeah? How's that going? This is, at best, grounded in supposition, but it would seem that the researchers are coaxing forth a hypothesis from the vestiges left in the wake of Sinclair's future self. My hair coupons! Oh, that. I bet a sign maybe being some singularity or whatever, yeah? The precise position of the hypothesis was that the fundamental principles of the sign's working may be equivalent to those of the singularities or relics. But as no actionable evidence was obtained from Sinclair, there is presently no means by which this hypothesis may be validated. I see. Then nothing came out of them dragging Sinclair off for that research. Oh, you could also say I was being dragged off, but you also thought I was still being dragged off? Wait, fuck, shit, god, fuck, reading's hard. Oh, you also thought I was being dragged off, but still let it happen anyway? No, Kidding. Just thought I'd try and going along with the mood. Don Sinclair wouldn't have even thought to joke around like that. He's really changed lately. For the better, I think. So, did anything happen that we should worry about? I stuck close to him just in case. Nothing serious came up. Just took some blood, small skin sample. Oh, and they were also checking if the sign reacts to electrical stimulation. Yeah, and I had to fill out questionnaires too. Things like, please describe what you remember from the battle exactly as it happened, or list the sensations you felt when you regained consciousness. And your memories of that moment you have yet to return? No, I don't know if they'll ever come back, actually. Val said they only exist with my future self, so... Wait, but for my future self to even have those memories, shouldn't I carry them in the first place? Which comes for... Paradox, it would seem. In such case, that Sinclair is merely one branch among many possible futures. If the future unfurls into boundless branches by means of ceaseless bifurcation, then the body of information that constitutes a certain future would scatter into grains more fleeting than dust. Too diminished to ever reverse their course and trace their path back to the self that now exists. Is that the theory suggested? Not a certainty, but a plausible interpretation. Here you go again, more of that nonsense only you lot understand in fucking ads. Really funny how Ricardo can't unstagger, but he can move his stagger bar further and further back. Yeah. Ricardo's weird. Ricardo? Hey, Brodo, can you hear me through the ads? Yes, you never see ads, Turbo. The Old Republic is multiplayer, but none of the well, I won't say none. All of the base game stuff is entirely doable single player. In terms of class stories and shit. So I remember there being something about how you have to do stuff, do extra stuff, do content that you wouldn't have to otherwise if you don't pay for the subscription, but I can't remember how true that is. Was wondering if it's like WoW, where two people can make a character and do literally everything together. Or if it's more like Final Fantasy XIV, where there's a lot of solo queue stuff that you flat out can't do with one another. There is... I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, you can bring other people. There are solo queue things where only you can go in, but it's less common than Final Fantasy XIV. And for all of the dungeon shit, you can go in with a friend. Honestly, with another, you can go in with just a friend, and you'll have, because with the companions, because it's a fucking BioWare-esque MMO, basically. It's like KOTOR, you have companions that you can bring along. So, if you go into a 4-man dungeon thing, and you only have 2 of you, you can pull out companions, and they will do stuff. And they can fill roles that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do on your own. However, I will say companions don't really do healer or tank very well. So if you can have one of your 2 people grab one of those 2 roles, you can probably grind through any boss that you'll run into in a dungeon. Eventually, because DPS isn't necessarily as good as a full player, but it's enough. As long as you can do mechanics. Consistency man too, is what you shall call Heath Cardo. Yeah, he seems that way. He seems pretty reliable. Oh, remember or not, that future guy still came out of him, didn't he? What's Tor? The Old Republic, Maria. Then some part of him's got to be left in there somewhere, yeah? Like muscle memory or whatever. Perhaps he could still pull off some of those tricks from back then, yeah? Tricks from back then? I heard you kicked off proper out there. Even pulled out that trick you picked up from that plastered old geezer, right? Not just that, he was using that Mong technique quite effortlessly too. We do plan on playing that as well at some point. We do! We could even do it tomorrow/tonight, since it's your night off after stream, if you want. As long as you've got it installed. I don't know how long that would take you. Give it a shot. See if you actually, like, you know, enjoy it. I need to remember what my fucking account info is. You don't have a sub, though? It's free to play! The sub is optional. The Old Republic. Do I have it installed? I don't. The Old Republic. Let me just slap it down into my hard drives real quick. I need to uninstall some shit. He was looking at class stuff after you mentioned it earlier. Well, I'd be down to bring you along if you want. You know, we can have 3 people. It's also entirely doable by yourself, so if you just want to get involved because people are playing, then, you know, you don't have to, like, rely on others. What, that glowing ring thing? I give everybody the best and most high-quality accents that you ever heard. You know it yourself, you cannot get into an MMO reliably without others, just flat out. Understandable. I feel like the Old Republic has enough of a single-player experience that you can do it without other people, as long as you like the mechanics of hotkey MMO combat. And, I mean, that's it, basically. Actually, pretty much. Because it's got enough of a internal story that you can, like, actually just play it like an RPG. It might be a little more grindy than that, but, you know, some RPGs are just kind of that way. As it were. My camera's getting a little bit fucky today. Oh, battery's fine. Wonder what's going on. Yep, the glowing ring thing. He had 2 of them coiled around his weapon. I used the glowing ring thing? This is the first time I'm hearing anything about it. Alright, so what exactly is that glowing ring thing? Anyone? Maybe some technique that enhances physical capability? I mean, I guess that fleshy aura makes you a real tough one. A real tough's one part of it. But there's got to be more, right? I'm not sure I'm getting this accent for Rhodia correct. Don't know. Could be a secret finger thing they passed down to the members. Technique gear, something like that. Did we not? Did we not see Virgil do it? Is nobody gonna fucking ask him? Hasn't Vergilius, like, repeatedly pulled out the Mong to save our asses in multiple occasions? Specifically during the checkup and Wuthering Heights? Did that not happen twice? Did they oh, I guess they kind of forgot about Wuthering Heights, didn't they? They forgot about that whole fucking mess. You can play solo just fine on MMOs, but it's funner with a friend, and we did semi-plan on it together anyway. We did! So, go ahead and get it installed. You think any of the sinners would just willingly walk up to Virgil? That's true. Also, yes. Some of them. Look at it. That black coney leader, that lie-hung prick. And the nurse fathers we fought. A whole lot of them's fingers, ain't they? Even with Greg, which Heath was there for? Yep, true. That notion seems to unravel, for even among the LCD, there were those who came to wield it. And Vergilius, too. So what? Only the proper hard bastards can use it. Some posh top-end trick, is it? Without anyone in particular prompting it, the sinners slowly turned their gaze toward Vergilius and Vespa. I only learned to wield it from my team leader, too. I have a sensory understanding of Shin, but I can claim nothing too profound. However, what I can spare are some rumors, though they are all without proper sources. Rumors? They circulated among elite fixers and association leadership that there exists a power called Shin, capable of enhancing the body without having to pay expensive upkeep costs. A rumor among fixers, sayest thou? Yes, even the technique to manifest it. How-to tips, really? Spread through hearsay. Oh yeah, that tracks. That super rookie column in the latest mag bonus vid? Bro was really popping off with it straight up aura farmed with a shiny Mong wrapped around the weapon. It must be that mine eyes are yet to be privy to seeing such a marvel in a video. Wait, you serious? It's in the latest issue. Literally on the videotape in the back. You missed it. Video tape? Alas, for many a week I have been stranded from Mephi, relieving me of a chance to read not only the prior chronicle, but the latest one as well. Oh, woe is me. When I return, I shall feast through the night upon those noble exploits of adventuring fixers. As Don Quixote dramatically spiraled into a state of utter dejection, Otis cut into the conversation, her gaze narrowing with suspicion. Alright, gonna lurk as you prep for bed. Have a good one. Night, Roto. See you later, bud. Oh, by the way, since it never been mentioned, but most people don't wear armor because there's a workshop office that produces tailor-made outfits that provide the same protection of heavy-duty gear, but much easier to move and cause. It's just fabric. Of course, it's expensive, but it's worth the cost. So what's up with the Sunk East or West? I think it's West, right? Office. It's pretty much branding. Ah, fair. I respect it. From what I recall, the Mantle of Shin grants its users a high degree of physical enhancement. There is no such thing as reinforcement without supplies. No power of that magnitude comes without an equivalent cost to wield it. I imagine the cost is training, Otis. That power relies on emotion and will for manifestation. Its output is not consistent like prosthesis and augmentation. And depending on how it is used, the consequence it demands can reach levels comparable to the ego you use. You mean to say that it exacts a toll upon the mind? I can walk you through the fundamentals if you'd like. From what I observed, it appeared to be a technique reserved for those of considerable strength. At our current level, Is it not unreasonable to assume we could make use of it? Regarding that, our team leader has been conducting intensive research. You know the cyberpunk agenda of wearing the services you're offering kind of shtick with edge runners? Yeah, that's true. And according to her, physical strength itself has little bearing on one's ability to learn and wield Shin. As the yellow harpoon says, it is, in essence, a power that can be learned by almost anyone, provided they know the proper method of training. Vespa's brows visibly twitched the moment yellow harpoon left Virgilius's lips. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's a big fan of his own title. The yellow harpoon. Aura farming is a legitimate business tactic. You gotta like present yourself in a way that gives people confidence in your ability to actually provide the services that you are selling. That's just how it is. That's how it is with every business. Like, you know, if you show up as an electrician and you look like shit and you've not showered for like 4 months, people are gonna be like, I don't know about this guy. It's just that people have different expectations of combat capable personnel than they do of like a professional tradesman. No? Well, it fits, I think. He's got those yellow stripes on his clothes, and he uses a harpoon too. Can he argue with it? People then forget that the suit maketh the man, quote, is incredibly multifaceted in its use. It is. Yes. It is used many, many different ways for many different things in incorrectly, correctly, and sideways. If I were to exaggerate, even Sinner Yi Song's pre-contract self could manage to learn it. Why must this self of mine be chosen at this as the point of comparison? Well, because you're the wimpiest one here. Don't let it get to you. Even so, it would be a mistake. Wait. Even so, it would be a mistake to assume it's a power anyone can grasp with ease. As long as you are bound by contract as sinners, your ability to wield it will be severely limited. Unless you rely on particular identities or come upon an extraordinary circumstance. Shame that. Would have been useful. Hey, then what about me? Can I learn it too? Kira, who had been fidgeting with her fingers, raised an arm and asked as though she couldn't hold the question back any longer. Come to think of it, the middle nurse father didn't use any Shin or Mong. Papa never taught me how to use it. He always said I could get stronger without a stupid crutch like that. Ah! It wasn't that he didn't teach you, he couldn't. He was a man who probably had never once reflected upon his own sins. A piece of trash like him would be incapable of even comprehending such a power in the first place. Vespa's responses always come back dripping with venomous hatred whenever the conversation turns to the topic of the fingers. Kira must have noticed too, or perhaps she simply couldn't find the right words to push back. Either way, she held her tongue, her expression settling into a blend of frustration and something that looked a little too close to sadness. Your dad was a piece of shit, bruh. If you want to reduce it to a yes or no, then yes, you will be able to learn it with the odds in your favor. That is, assuming that the company decides to tolerate your continued existence. I already said I get it. As it stands, you're nothing more than a pending case of disposal. Closer to a threat than you are to an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get comfortable because the manager and the sinners treat you with lenience. Step out of line and you will be the one who pays the price. There was nothing in what Virgilia said that I could argue with. Kira had been a member of the House of Spiders. She murdered scores of LCE researchers and left us with plenty of memories we'd rather not revisit. For now, we're just working together. Not contesting that decision doesn't mean we have no hard feelings toward her. Leaving Kira alone with her thoughts, the sinners slipped back into their own business. Snacks, idle chatter, and conversations about whatever had happened around LCE. This examination is concluded. I suppose it won't be an issue to let you hear the results together. And before we knew it, Hohenheim and Ryoshu returned. Shin and Mong pretty much cost SP in game terms. The more you waver, the less effective both are. Makes sense. There is a lot of dialogue in this. Fascinating. Renketsuken. Wah. Wah. To present the conclusion first. No. Notion of the sword being a sentient one is incorrect. The locus of the will is not the blade, but the scabbard. An ego forged in a rather paradoxical nature. Yes, that would be the most appropriate description. Not a sentient sword, huh? Yoshu's grumpy dismissal made the scabbard quiver almost as if it had taken offense. Somehow, I felt like I could understand what Hohenheim meant by will now. It was a reunion of sorts, one that gave both a tinge of sadness and hope. If the scabbard has its own will, does that mean the owner of that will can be resurrected? It is too premature to deliberate on the matter. The state of existence under question is not one that may be defined as death at the moment. I assume they asked whether it can be revived or brought back to life, so to speak. Even supposing that survival is a fixed variable and that the reconstitution of the original corporeal body falls within the realm of theoretical possibility, the probability approaches zero given the limits of today's technology and conditions. We researchers are inclined to entertain even infinitesimal chances. But in the terminology of the lay people like yourself, such a prospect would be labeled impossible, wouldn't it? There is no need to fixate on the impossibilities of the present, Manager Dante. Such matters are reserved for us scientists to hold on to. Right. But we may have uncovered a thread, something that could lead to restoring Sinner Ryoshu's memories. Though, again, that too is merely a possibility. Far more practical avenue for you to pursue at the moment. Nevertheless. And to that end, further analysis on the scabbard itself would be necessary. Coordinate with Alan for your next duty. You should still be in the ring nurse father's quarters. That will be all. Hohenheim cut himself off there, clamping his mouth shut as if any further exchange might scatter and mess up the theories he'd constructed in our conversation. Alright then, before we go, anyone want to tag along? Munching on food, averting their gaze, the sinners were pretending they weren't interested at all. But going by the way their forks had long since stopped moving, it was pretty clear to me they'd been intently listening in on our conversation. Where are we to go? Ah, right. Sorry. Forgot the rest of you weren't there with us earlier. Faust, Don Quixote, Ryoshu, and I have been checking where each back door leads. Oh, and Kira, too. The prisoner of war executive manager? We talking about me? Yeah, I guess. I'm working with them too. Yeah. Best remember to tread carefully. Should you cause even the slightest harm to the executive manager, you will be held accountable without exception. Yeah, sure, whatevs. Kira needled at Otis with a mocking pout, but oddly enough, she didn't appear particularly irritated. Anyway, I think it'd be better if we had a few more people, just to be safe. One of the doors we went into earlier led straight to the ring's corridor. That was a close call. Otis and Heathcliff's hand shot up the moment I finished speaking. I would very much like to accompany you, executive manager. I knew I could rely on you, Otis. Your recognition of my loyalty honors me, executive manager. I, Otis, understand better than anyone your concern about the peril of working with a prisoner of war, so liable to betray. To have your indispensable self proceed with only a handful of soldiers under your command. This cannot stand. I am afraid I won't be able to focus on other duties without personally seeing to your safety. I get it, Otis. You've made your point clear enough. Not keen on how I just keel over the moment you summon me. Feels a bit dodgy, that. Better I stick by your side and scrap it out myself. You probably don't need me to come along, then. I guess you can just summon the rest of us like you did earlier if shit hits the fan. A research yet unfinished holds my efforts. I shall join you once it has found closure. Ha ha ha! I don't think I can be much help wherever you're going. I'll pass. I will follow if that is your order, manager. No, it's fine. Just get some rest. It'll probably be okay. I can always summon them again if things get too dangerous. For now, I should go see Alan again. We might be running out of time for the stream to continue. My shit's getting kind of rumbly. Imbiz Pumpany. Hello, Orphan. Bum 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 bum. Oh, this is straight combat, isn't it?
카니발 타임.
Rumble, rumble, get grumbled. Yep. Talking is hard. How you doing, Orphan? We should be coming up on ads soon, shouldn't we? God, why the fuck? I just drank liquid. Why is it still rough? Have we actually seen Rufo yet? No, unfortunately not. I hope it's soon. You've arrived. I was waiting for you. We sifted through and isolated the doors with the highest probability of leading into the ring's gallery. The next step would be to enter the alternate door you mentioned, but... Hold up a sec. You secretly placed your water with more dry? Fucking joke's on you! I'm not drinking water. I'm drinking
적잖은 친구가 되어주었겠어. 다람쥐가!
I was actually gatekeeping more stuff? Gatekeeping. Are you saying you have more to tell about gates? Doors? Yeah. That door over there? Pretty sure it connects to N-Corp's nest. I saw Albina going in all hyped about some cans... whatever it was. And that wooden door with bandages wrapped around the handle. Papa'd go there to cross out vengeances. From what the book said, it's probably a turf protected by a Thumb subsidiary or something. Unlike earlier, when she offered only vague snippets even about just a single door, Kira was now feeding Alan a stream of intel that seemed solid even to someone as clueless about the back doors as me. Kira is such a damn zoomer. Yeah, she is. 100%. She's far more cooperative than anticipated, even after that Alan character roughed her up from what I hear. Yeah, you'd think she'd clam up out of spite. I wonder if she changed her mind about cooperating with us. Nevertheless, we mustn't let our guard down, Executive Manager. There's no telling when she'll turn on us. I can literally hear everything you're saying, you know. All right, then. Based on the intel, please proceed by investigating the safest doors first. As for the high-risk ones, I'll continue checking and let you know which ones you need to enter. Alan tinkered with the devices around him and flashed a couple of doors with blue light. Guess that means we start with those. She's admitted it! She's spying on us! Executive man, shut the fuck up, Otis. Where do you guys want to go first? They all look about the same. Just start with the closest one. Well, Alan did say these are the safest ones, so shouldn't matter which one. Just as I reach... Otis, please! The war is over! Yeah! Just as I reached the nearest door as Heathcliff told me to, Ryoshu suddenly veered off, stopping in front of another one that stood a few steps apart. This door, it feels familiar. You recognize that door? I think I passed through it a few times when I was little. Hardly had Ryoshu stopped speaking when a fragmented memory, painted over in part, slipped into my mind. Sorry, it hurt a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Oh, I know. Let's go for a walk. But I don't recall much about it. That memory just now, could it be tied to Araya? I went to high school with this door? Fuck off, Lacey. Let's start with that one then. Alright, this one, yep. Here we go. Impatient as ever, Heathcliff shoved the door open and strode in first. The rest of us followed, including Kira and the other sinners. And this place is? Judging by its state, it seems to be a welfare facility located within a nest. Most likely a park. Every sword walking here is dragging some animal along. Means they've got money to burn. Proper rich lot, this place. The walk past the past Ryoshu mentioned in her memory, and the sight of people fussing over their pets. The pieces clicked together, and I voiced the other memory I saw back at the House of Spiders. Did you ever come here with a puppy named Saru? Yeah, I remember that. Not a puppy, though. Saru was a bit bigger by then. Big dog. Sorry, it hurt a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Oh, pupper. Why isn't she getting any better? I gave her lots to eat. Oh, I know. Want to go for walkies? You love walkies, don't you, Saru? Yay. There's this workshop Dad always visits. The doors there's connected to a park. We can go right now. Doggo. Ryoshu's childhood memory burned bright in my vision before passing. That was her as a kid? Verily, such great gentleness doth seem most unlike thee, young Ryoshu. Aye. Flock, who said you could show them my memories willy-nilly? No, come on, you know it's not something I can control. Chi-chi. Back in the House of Spiders, I was the only one who could see the vision of Ryoshu's past. This time, though, her memories seemed to manifest for everyone around, just like what we experienced with H-Corp. In H-Corp with Hong Lu. Which probably means... Why are you all staring at me? That's so random. What the hell? Did you not see that just now? See what? You guys zoning out together? Guess it doesn't apply to Kira. Then again, unlike how it was between Lin Daiyu and Hong Lu, Kira doesn't have any direct connection to... Sorry guys, we had to replace Hong Lu with the city of Hong Kong before in the last patch. We couldn't get the voice actor back. Guess it makes sense. Was that adorable hound thy companion of old, young Ryoshu? Indeed, my one and only best friend. And because of that, Saru would be locked away in the vault every time I had to depart on an assignment, with a spiral device driven through her. The first ever leash. Looking back, it might have been a kinder fate had she died sooner. To inflict such cruelty upon a voiceless animal. How can such wickedness be born? What happened to Saru in the end? She died before her time. I don't recall why, but there was this day when Saru wouldn't stop whimpering in pain. And I shut myself in my room crying. You? What? Not someone else? Who else? Of course it was me. Even after witnessing the fragment of memory, Heathcliff looked utterly unconvinced. And while I was grieving, Callisto offered a solution, said he would give me a gift the next day. And what I received was something he called the Beastbone Blade. Tonto that would whine and yelp in Saru's voice with every swing. No way! Hello, Spy Association. There's a group of 6 people staring into space in the middle of the... in the park with a member of the middle. Could you please come and kick their ass? Actually, just calling him Robo-Unk. Yeah, I know. She's such a fucking zoomer. Gen Alpha, piece of shit. Ryoshu, your dog has been inflicted with crippling chronic pain courtesy of a torture device. Group hallucination sesh. Yeah. I always knew there was something creepy with Robo-Unk, so that's how he killed your dog, huh? No, he didn't kill Saru. That Tonto was alive. Did you just say alive? Bloody hell. Right, none of that, psycho. Her eyes were embedded in it like adornments, and they'd stare at me in accusation. The tiny heart beat as though it was quaking with fear. It was a horrible sight, and I felt pity. So I shortened what remained of her time with my own hands. Got me thinking after hearing all that. Why do you still mess with that art thing, then? Be honest. After seeing something like that, you'd want to steer well clear, yeah? Right? Those things he called artworks were also cursed. Straight up nightmare fuel. Like, I haven't really checked out other Ring artworks outside Albina and her nurse fathers, so maybe I'm just a noob when it comes to all that, but... yeah, their stuff never gave me any art vibes, for real. I thought the same. Well, I was terrified at first, yet as I learned more, there were some facets that suited my taste. Thou findest appeal in those grotesque creations? From what you've told me about Callisto, it looks like he failed to stick to his own advice. But there's something he always used to say. Art is wholly subjective, and thus one must never expect the understanding of others. The uncanny, the horrible, there's a beauty that lies in the grotesqueness of it all. Can't say I quite get it, but if you say so. Nah, but bloody hell, how'd you end up getting used to that kind of fucking shit? Why do you need to understand? You're not an artist. I got used to it, but that bastard Callisto's installation artworks caused night terrors and nightmares for... The scabbard moved, and Ryoshu came to a pause. It trembled, but there was at once a strange liveliness to it, as though it quivered between fear and anticipation. Night terrors. Crying from nightmares in the House of Spiders? There was actually someone who got scared of ring stuff back in your day? I need to check something. We've seen enough here. Let's go back. Yeah, let's. Nothing else worth checking around here anyway. With the inspection complete, we quickly followed Ryoshu back. He stood in front of the artworks covered in sheets of cloth, lost in thought. Right here. There used to be a huge artwork displayed here. I don't know what kind of impulse struck him, but the bastard went about fussing, saying he needed practice so he wouldn't lose his touch. What's wrong? Oh, over there. Thought I told you to keep the exhibition in your room. Ah, you've returned, Yoshihide. I decided to attempt installation art of somewhat larger scale this time, but I ran out of space in my gallery. People were screaming. Dearest Yoshihide, Araya has reached an age where she may be introduced into the world of aesthetics. Surely this wouldn't be a problem. It would. You liking it and me acquiring the taste doesn't mean Araya will. Let's get you back to our room. I was hugging something in my arms. It was crying. Saru? No, too big to be Saru. The lacerated memories can never be made whole, no matter how many fragments are glued together. We could tell Ryoshu everything we knew about Araya, but it'd never truly reach her. I see, this hollow void must be Araya. The sensation and emotion for what's been emptied begin to entangle with Ryoshu's memories. And that makes it possible for us to reminisce about Araya together. The soft rattle Araya gave seemed to show how pleased she was with this small step. Alright, time to check out the next door. We entered several more back doors that Alan pointed out, but unfortunately, none of the places we ended up at stirred Ryoshu's memories any further. And pretty much nothing here. I think we're done. With, how'd they get in here? Startled, Kira pointed ahead, where figures wearing animal masks were hauling what looked like a massive lumps of flesh hidden behind a tent of sorts. Those ring assailants from before? Didst thou not say thou hast sealed that door earlier? How then do these villains come to stand before us once more? They probably have infiltrated via an entirely separate route. You know, another back door. As you can see, their objective appears to be the retrieval of the Ringner's father's artworks. Get on with it. We need to move as many pieces as we can before we pull out. Wait, but I thought Robo-Unk was washed. He's got so many fanboys and fangirls here. Does his artwork possess value in and of itself? Or is it just a case of posthumous premium of death effect? Think about it. Some of the pieces have already been taken. Of course, they are of little value to both our companies. Watching them sweating and struggling to drag those mediocre pieces with them, pretty funnery. Funnery. Words. Look out, day laborers. They imagine being a porter and you have to put on the fucking gang's bullshit when you go to do a moving job. Being a fucking teamster and you just have to like put on it's like being a goon in Gotham. You work for all of the gangs. You just get hired out to whoever needs people for the day. You just put on the appropriate costume and pull out the appropriate acts. Oh, but imagining how those pieces will be labeled with some pathetic notion of heritage connected to my name on their description plaques? Pretty unsavory. Here, put on this fox mask and this giant owl wing. You know this is gonna fucking make the job harder, right? I don't care. We care about aesthetics here. Fine, fine. If that's what you want us to do, boss, I guess we can. It's not a big deal. They may be occupied with transporting those objects for now, but they will likely soon find cause to harm the Wayfarer and LCE personnel stationed here. Executive Manager. Nah, you think those guys are dressed like that out of a sense of obligation? They're in it for the love of the game? Oh yeah, because they're actually Ring members. They're in it for the love of the game. But it would be funny if they were just like day laborers, just porters, teamsters, whatever, from the local Teamsters union that got hired to move a bunch of shit. But part of the job was here, put on this weird fursuit. And it's like, okay, it doesn't break any union rules, and I'm getting union pay for it, so like, fuck it, I guess. Don't worry about it. It's just another fucking day. You know what I mean? They're working here. I mean, that's probably just your average fixer, LeMayo. You have to wear the uniform so our office looks cohesive. Oh yeah, for sure. But it would be funny if the like day laborers just jump between organizations, but they're fixers, air quotes. So they just put on whatever uniform the people they're working for wear that day. Otis is right. Better to wipe them out before they try anything stupid. Guys, looks like we've got another job to do. Lend me a hand. The radio didn't buzz with the sinner's replies this time, but it should be fine. In before it's not funnylameo.wav.
단순해서 좋군. 9번 수감.
Chain battle? Yep.
물론
Unlike Batman, who never kills, though, you're liable to just get splattered across some alley in the back streets in the city. Sadly pensive, indeed. Sometimes you just gotta live with it. Alright. I'm gonna set this to do this turn and go to the bathroom real quick. Get some more drink.
나라도 그렇게 했을 테지. 이만하면 훌륭하군. 확실히 훌륭하군. 5번 수감자. 덕분에 위험한 순간도 넘어간 적이 많았지. 그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없진 않았군요, 딴테. 적합한 조치였습니다.
Agreed, it is nice that Callisto and Albina's theme is back for this one, because they're good. They are very nice. Excellent. Also, I found out I wasn't crazy. I did, in fact, press the text button to pop up my BRB thing, but it's broken. Oh, that's why. God damn it. Because the Steam Deck software itself is fucked. Yay. Start it and hopefully that fixes it.
이 정도쯤은 바이올렛 브레이크 슬램! 짜증나게.
There we go. Now it works. Hooray! Just in time for ads.
그렇게 시원하게 처리하니
아이씨,
보는 맛이
짜증나게.
나는군. 일 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이 덜 답답한 법이지.
기대라.
Dawn getting her ass kicked all day today. Just throwing hands. Catch these iron fists, bitch.
저 수감자는
Oh yeah, big attack, baby. Get him, fuck him up.
항보해드려야겠군요. 외면의 예술을.
상부의 제신지라.
Do it again. Run it back. I did not realize that Kira was here and fighting. Hilarious. How much hard blood do you have? No, I'm not burning it.
가족을 위해
아이씨, 짜증나게. 그 소재 가져갈래요.
따뜻한 피.
골치 아픈 것들이 고기 조각이 되었군요. 단테.
The final man.
나쁘지 않은
Time to
성과입니다.
die, bitch.
혈관의 두께. 나쁘지 않아요. 그 속 이제야 친해졌네요.
With this, the last of the Ring's infiltrators have been eradicated. Is that all of them? Ryoshu kept glancing around as if searching for someone, but fortunately, no other Ring members were in sight. Right, but where the hell were this lot coming from anyway? Wasn't just the first wave? Had more of the sods legging it in from the back, like they'd been lurking somewhere else. According to the tracking logs recorded by the surveillance devices installed here, they appear to have crossed over from another corridor. Another corridor? What precisely does the designation "another corridor" refer to? The room resembling a shopping mall. The one filled with batches of toys on display. Your company, if I recall correctly, designated it as the corridor of the middle nurse father. Oh. I suggest we relocate there. Your signed tasks here have been wrapped up. Oh, and before we set off, do you have any information to share in advance? We are planning to compile a comprehensive encyclopedia cataloging the notable characteristics of these corridors and all of their connection loci. Your cooperation will be most appreciated. Kira seemed to hesitate, gnawing at her nails as if she were going through an inner struggle. Before long, however, she snapped out of it like she just locked in on a decision. Sure, I got stuff to tell you, like hella stuff. Some parts are kind of fuzzy, not gonna lie, but I can still recall like 20 places clear enough. I mean, it was home for me and Papa, so... I got nothing. I never once regarded that fucker's room as home. My memories of it are all fragments at best. The scabbard gave a faint, restless stir. Perhaps it wanted to comfort Ryoshu in the only way it could. And accompanied by its tremors, we began our move toward the corridor of the middle. Wow!
약지에 감긴 세 바퀴의 반지는 마에스트로가 되기 위해 인정받은 세 가지 작품을 뜻하죠. 비록 지금 제 작품이 만인의 신금을 울리지는 못하더라도 여전히 반지에 부끄럽지 않은 작품을 선보이고 있는 것 같네요.
Gross ass noises. Okay, wait, did we just clear the first part? Honglu, please, I need that spine. Nope, too late. Already taken. Deal with it. Good old splorch noises, indeed. Yep. I got most of the rewards. Good old Splorchinator. Where does the first part end? 9.56 or this one? 9.55. Saru, you guess? Sense, I suppose. I think I'm gonna call it here for tonight. I don't really want to, and I know it's a short stream, but for whatever reason, my throat's getting rough real fast. Right? I don't know if y'all can hear it. I don't know if y'all agree, but I can feel some strain going on, and I don't want to, like, break my shit. So, hopefully, we'll get the next two parts done next stream. And by next stream, I mean next Thursday. 3 hours count as short? I mean, I normally like to do 5 to 6. I feel more comfortable with that. Like, I actually did work. But 3 hours isn't a small amount of time. I don't know. Be careful of the event running out before. Oh, believe me, I'm still doing, like, what do you call it? Mirror dungeons and stuff. So I'll get all the rewards. Just, you know. And also, there's, what, 11 days left, roughly? 7 days from now, or 6 days from now. So there'd still be 5-ish days left. Once we start on Thursday, and so I should have plenty of time. Oh, God. All right. Is there anybody streaming that I feel comfortable rating? I'm afraid not, but at least I'm not getting boob mogged by some of the other streamers on my following this time. All right. That's gonna be us done for the night, everybody. Sorry, especially Orphan, since you kind of just got here, but, you know, the body only has what it has to give. I probably fucked myself up a little bit while I was working out today. The breathing from deadlifts is not easy on the throat. Oh well. See you next time. Probably gonna pull out Warhammer on Monday. Continue that trend for now. Do I have to say bye another time? I guess I do. Bye, anyway.